guys, here we are, day 2. We have started with Satterfield. He has already made a jump early this morning. He's sitting in 6th, so he's just outside of our camera cut. And right now on the live tracker, he is sitting in 2nd place. So Ryan had a hot start yesterday morning. He had a little place that he really kind of pulled off of. Going to be a wide open day. Have no idea what else to expect. Once the sun kind of came out yesterday, the offshore guys really kind of got going later in the day. 2 totally different patterns, but both of them are being very successful. Every time I get with one of these guys, it's crazy. Like I become a cheerleader, whoever's boat I'm at. Right now, I'm Lewis's cheerleader. We just caught up with Mark Schilling just a little bit ago. He was really having a nice afternoon flurry. Surprised even himself. He said that he felt truly blessed that he was catching the fish that he was catching. And he was catching them too.
You know what time it is. Let's weigh those fish.
Day 2, he's bringing 4. There's the boom right there, Adam 7. There's the boom right there, Logan Millsap. Put your hands together, folks, right there. Michael Brewer. 26 pounds, a good comeback today for Brad Knight. 13 pounds, 14 ounces. 15 pounds and 10 ounces, new leader. 13 pounds and 2 ounces, a 2-day total of 30 pounds. How about this, folks? There's the boom right there. 19 pounds and 10 ounces for Matt Massey.
All right, guys, we are at the end of day 2 of the NPFL here on Watts Bar Lake in beautiful East Tennessee. Dude, I think they bit better. Just like I predicted, these guys got out there. This is a great group of anglers. They figured it out a little bit better than what they did on the first day, and they caught them better. Matt Massey comes out of nowhere with 19 freaking pounds today. We still got Patrick Walters, the gorilla, on top. Comes back in with 13 pounds today. Another nice day to back up his 16. But guys, it's going to be a wide open shootout tomorrow. Couldn't ask for anything more on Championship Friday here on Watts Bar Lake. You guys don't want to miss it. It's coming up now.
Hello friends and neighbors, and welcome to stop number 3 of the National Professional Fishing League at Watts Bar and our very first ever finale Friday. I'm Luke Duncan, and today I'm joined by Fat Cat Newton in studio, and as you just saw, our man Bradley Hallman out there getting it done on the water. And like Bradley just explained, we had some fireworks yesterday, B. We saw the biggest stringer of the event so far, and what has been a fairly stingy event, but the guys starting to put it together.
Dude, no doubt about it. It seemed like it started out slow, but at the weigh-in, you're like, what in the world is going on? 19-pound sack by Matt Massey on Watts Bar. After everything we heard coming into this event, I gotta say, that is one thing that we did not expect with somebody bringing in a bag of meat like that. And Matt Massey, sounds like, according to Bradley Hallman, we might see it again today.
We very well could. Interesting pattern for Matt. And let's not forget that 7-pound even big bite challenge leader that could take him home some extra pocket change just for that one bite that he got yesterday. But more of the same from our day 1 leader, Patrick Walters, still sitting up top. Will we see that be the story at the end of finale Friday and see him take home $50,000 in his first shield?
Come on, man. You're asking me silly questions. Like, we're going to see more of what we saw yesterday out of Patrick Walters without a doubt. He got a taste of it last time. He almost got it. Is he going to let this one slip away too? Man, we've talked about him being a closer. He has that track record of being a closer. He is a monster. So, dude, man, it's going to be interesting, dude. It's going to be interesting.
Very, very slim lead over Ryan Satterfield, who vaulted into our top 5 yesterday. We saw him early doing work in the grass. We're going to get caught up with him just here in a little bit. He's really the only angler that we're covering today that's making that grass work for him, to be honest, this new grass. And if you're just joining us, Watts Bar, not really your typical Tennessee River Lake as far as the way the ledge is set up. The fish, we don't see the mega schools. We talked about it a lot yesterday, but in the last 3-4 years and talking to the locals, this grass is popping up everywhere. They had grass in the 80s and 90s back in the day, but then it went away. So most of our anglers, the Derek Blakes, Brad Knights, Taylor Watkins, Brian Hatfields, these guys aren't used to Watts Bar having grass. So that's added kind of an X factor to the lake this week.
Absolutely, too. And it seems like that, coming to this event, we heard guys catching quantity, a lot of shorts. They were catching a lot of shorts.
And we saw that yesterday, too.
We did see it yesterday. And, talking to some of the anglers, you're talking with the locals, the Brad Knights, the Brian Hatfields, going to the logic of why are we catching so many smalls and the big ones are sparse. Brad Knight had awesome logic about that, talking about the grass, that some of these bigger fish have been here so long, they weren't raised in the grass. The fry they don't know how to act in the grass because they weren't born in the grass. So that's kind of one thing. That grass is so much cover now. Of course, it used to be rock and here, points, ledges. Now they have that grass everywhere. They can just marinate up in the cut, lay over here, lay over there, and it kind of spread them out a little bit.
It has, and a lot of these fish aren't showing up on the offshore haunts that they used to. We've heard that from guys like Brad Knight, like Derek Blake. They're like, I don't know where they're at. I don't know. Of course, Brad had a better day yesterday, but he said something interesting to you and I. He caught and weighed 2 of his best fish out of the grass. He said that's the first Watts Bar grass bass he's ever weighed in a tournament on this lake that he's fished so long. So I thought that was very interesting. A lot of the story is the case of the have and the have-nots. It's a very tough event. We've seen guys not bring in limits, 1 fish, 2 fish, 3 fish, but we certainly have guys figuring it out in the top 10 yesterday coming into this finale Friday for $50,000. Certainly figured it out. Let's check in with that leaderboard from yesterday. So these are our top 10 rolling out this morning, and we will be covering the top 5 anglers here on NPFL Live. Of course, Patrick Walters up top there with that slim lead, 9 ounces over Ryan Satterfield, the young Arkansas angler. Sheldon Collings, somebody that is so familiar with not only having a live camera in his boat with NPFL Live, but just being in that top 5.
Absolutely. And you say young angler. Sheldon Collins also a young angler, but an old soul, a veteran for an angler of that age. And I got to say, man, out of everybody we have fishing today, who's due? I'd say Sheldon's overdue.
1,000,000%.
And he's the one out of this pack I see right here. He's the one that I see as the biggest threat because, like Patrick Walters, Sheldon knows what it is to be in this position.
Just a little over a pound back right now as well, just like Matt Massey, who rocketed up the leaderboard yesterday with that 19-pound stringer, almost 3 pounds heavier than what we saw the biggest bag on day 1 with a 7 even. Really unique pattern. We were talking with him last night, talking to Bradley Hallman, who got to watch him. He said, man, you better watch out for Matt Massey on Finale Friday. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out for Mr. Massey today. But Pug Clements, we spent so much time with yesterday, and really, he calls it junk fishing. We call it versatility, but he's junk fishing.
He's junk fishing, no doubt about it. And I got to say, man, as far as on camera, the guy is just, he's an entertainer and an educator.
Absolutely.
He's great on camera, and he's catching them. Watching him yesterday work that marina, pulling fish from under that pontoon while Bobby was on there talking to him was awesome. Good stuff, dude. Like I say, he was able to capitalize on every fish catch yesterday, unlike he's had some unfortunate experience earlier. Really on a roll, man, and he's just carrying that momentum, and I can't wait to see what that dude does today.
No doubt about it. Rough event at Lake Cumberland for Pug, but has been able to put it together, certainly the last 2 events, and wanting to hold a shield more than anybody in our field. I think Pug, the emotion that would come from that guy if he were to pull it off. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Michael Brewer in 6th place, the Tennessee angler, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, the hometown boy. I've got to represent TVA. He has found something very special in a big fish spot, very close to the ramp. We've talked to Michael both days, and he told me last night, he says, if I can get more than 1 or 2 bites on this spot, because that's all he's been able to get so far, he said, I really think I can blow it out. He said, they're there. I can see them. When I get bit, it's a 4 to 5 pounder. I just can't catch more than 2 off of it a day. And so that's scary for the rest of these guys. Like if they do connect, if something triggers those fish today, Michael could certainly be dangerous coming into that drive-through weigh-in this afternoon.
It's all you've been talking about. It's all you've been talking about, how dangerous he is here, because like you said, and we've talked about Michael Brewer, he TVA angler. But
Tennessee river water in his veins.
No doubt, but first time fishing Watts Bar.
Yes, indeed.
But he's implemented what he's learned.
Getting to fish the way he likes to fish.
Comes in here, and next thing you know, it works for him here.
Without a doubt, makes him very dangerous. Luis Fernandez, we've seen he's been very consistent all week fishing offshore, which is not really something we see Luis do a lot, but man, he's been capitalizing on that and catching a lot of fish this week to stay in the hunt. Eddie Carper, who's doing very well in the Progressive AOY this year, doing his thing, fishing shallow and sticking in that top 10. Mark Schilling made a big jump yesterday as well. Somebody we covered a lot last year that this year he's had a couple slow events. Mark getting back to form.
Absolutely. No surprise to see him back in the top 10 because we talked about him so much last year. He's off to a slow start. He's got his rhythm going, and he's always a threat.
And Sean Murphy, the Kentucky angler, veteran bass pro who we've covered several times on NPFL Live. He fished the FLW Tour for many years. And Sean, big Papa Pump, he would have a little bit more weight, but he had a fish carry issue yesterday, but fishing deep. And we saw him do a little bit of shallow work yesterday, but deeper than anybody in our field, 30 feet deep. I don't have enough line on my reels for that at all.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
No, heck no. I'm good on all that. Let's take a look at the Progressive Angler of the Year standings. This is after 2 events, and Jesse Wise sitting on top with Kevin Rogers in second, Ryan Davidson, Timmy Reams, Sean Murphy, Gary Atkins, Eddie Carper, who we just mentioned, who's in our top 10 today, as well as Sean Murphy, Josh McDermott, Logan Millsaps, and Justin Kimmel rounding out that top 10. The takeaways from that list for me, Kevin Rogers, the crappie king, is killing it this year consistently.
I believe he's sitting in 12th right now.
He is right outside the top 10. We got Eddie Carper in the top 10 right now, and we got Sean Murphy in the top 10. So this list will look very different heading into Saginaw Bay with 3 events behind us, 3 events to go. Just putting you on the spot, if we got to look at this list, who's your guy?
Kevin Rogers.
Okay.
I've been saying it all year. I'm not going to stop saying it now. That guy just never took a day off in the off season, kept grinding, and it's paying off, man. He is a machine, son.
Absolutely. And of course, we talk a lot, 6-event season here with the NPFL. And the guy that hoists the Progressive Angler of the Year Golden Shield at the end of the year will certainly earn it. We started the year in Cumberland with a wild event, a one-day shootout, flooded conditions, crazy, crazy weather. And then we went to Hartwell and we had Chamber of Commerce weather, thanks to Neil Paul. I think he called that in. Shout out, Neil. And the guys smashed them. There were so many limits, so many big bags, so many big fish. And then we come here, the guys are throwing curves with conditions, a little bit later spring, but they're catching them. Then we go to Saginaw Bay,
Let's talk about that.
which is going to be a fish factory for sure. Then we go to Sandusky Bay, known for giant smallmouth, and end the year in Florida in the fall down at Lake Toho. The guys are going to have to earn it.
We've talked about it. We've talked about this schedule. Whoever wins the AOY this year, Progressive AOY, they're going to earn it. Versatility is key in this. And like Kevin Rogers talked about, he's never made that northern swing. He said he's looking forward to it because that forward-facing sonar.
He's dangerous.
Very dangerous. So that's why I say we're going to see that Progressive AOY really get mixed up, I think, as the season progresses, because some of the boys that do good down south, it's going to be interesting to see how good they do up there. And like I said, Progressive AOI will be won by the most versatile angler in the field.
For sure. The guy that has the best year. And certain guys get in on a roll. Certainly, we see that all the time. And Kevin Rogers is one of those guys right now that he's finding his footing in the bass fishing world. He's won so many professional crappie events. He's very good with his electronics. But last year, he just stumbled a few times. And he's like, he doesn't take a butt kicking very well. We talked to him. You can see it in his eyes. He's back with a vengeance this year in that Progressive Angler of the Year race. Of course, that's kind of looking ahead. We've got things to decide today, like who's going to take home the $50,000 payday that comes with this finale Friday that we're ending on Friday instead of Showdown Saturday like normal because of the Memorial Day weekend. And when we get back from these commercials, we're going to get out on the water and check in with our top 5 anglers doing battle on the bar.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store, because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know, plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood, no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
So if you don't know about me, I was in the military for quite a while, and in that process I picked up the habit of chewing tobacco. I came across this stuff last year midsummer and started using it, and now I don't even use tobacco at all. If you don't know about Fully Loaded Chew, it's a non-tobacco product that contains nicotine. Fully Loaded Chew offers a variety of nicotine strengths. They have fully loaded, which is full nicotine, half cocked, which is half strength, and zero nicotine options for you. So if you're looking to completely kick the habit, they have something that's going to fit you. They have a variety of flavors. So if you're used to chewing a certain thing, they have something that's going to fit what you're used to also. To sign up for their monthly subscription service or to get your hands on any Fully Loaded Chew product, head to fullyloadedchew.com and grab some.
Guide Batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro Guide Batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
Are you looking to install your own fishing electronics? Well, the Bass Tank is here to help you. The solution is the Bass Tank Power Harness. It takes the guesswork out of installation. No more voltage issues or interference. Designed by an engineer so that you can get professional results right there in your own garage. Installation done right with the help of the Bass Tank Power Harness. You can feel confident knowing that your installation was done right. The Bass Tank Power Harness. Give us a call or order yours today at thebasstank.com.
Welcome back to Watts Bar and our first look here at Ryan Satterfield. Arkansas angler started the day in second place. 9 ounces back from our leader, Patrick Walters.
So far I've had a few little ones. The wind's changed directions and I've had to change my angle up a little bit. I don't know if my fish have moved or they're just not biting yet or what. We've got a couple boats around us catching them. Just stay focused and see what happens. I think there's some around. We just gotta catch them when they bite. 5 bites. We haven't landed any keepers yet, but we're gonna keep plugging away.
Ryan did most of his damage yesterday in the grass.
Stuck the fishing, right?
Yeah, I think the weather's definitely helping us versus the guys that are probably fishing offshore. I think we can catch them longer today, and I think the fish will stay around on this flat versus leaving the flat going out deep for the summer. So it's just keeping them around an extra few days. So once they get so far post-spawn, they're gonna start leaving. I would imagine a certain percentage will live in the grass all year, but majority of them will start leaving, and you know that may be what has happened so far this morning. I may need to change up, back out a little bit. I backed out some and didn't catch any, so keep going. Yesterday was slow, but when we got bit, it was the right one. So just keeping the faith that we'll still get a few bites and they will be the right ones.
We caught up with Ryan before takeoff this morning just to kind of get those finale Friday feels from him. Let's check in with Ryan Satterfield on his morning thoughts.
Yeah, so we're fixing to take off here, and hopefully we're gonna go catch them. I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Very excited to be here, and we'll see what happens. We're gonna go try to get them.
What do you think about conditions today?
Conditions have been helping me. It's been cloudy this week, and I've been fishing pretty shallow, and that always seems to help. So it's cloudy right now. I think it's supposed to get sunny today, and I don't think it'll hurt too much. I think we're going to catch them.
Look back before we went live this morning, Mr. Satterfield on that grass flat with White's Creek. Now we're back live out on the bar. Brian Satterfield. Rainy Friday morning so
It's been
far.
an interesting morning, man. These guys have been fighting rain all morning, but it seems like that band, it's a thin band right on top of the lake, and it should be out of there around by 10 o'clock Eastern time. Then boys should be able to take them jackets off. And
Weatherman Cat. I like it. We need a segment. You need a graphic.
I'm a good liar. I'm definitely a good liar.
Can't trust a weatherman. That
No,
is
sir.
for sure.
Yeah, man, it's been fun watching these guys. Like I say,
not gonna keep.
it's been an interesting morning.
Satterfield with a non-keeper looks like. And that has been the story of much of the week for a lot of
Caught
our
a few
anglers.
short
Lots of
fish
bites.
yesterday, but
Largemouth has to be 15 inches on the bar, smallmouth 18
getting
inches, and
short
spotted
bites,
bass
it's probably not a good
12
sign.
inches.
It's been a lot of that going on this week. A lot of throwing back. We've had guys talking about catching them. Quantity. We've got guys catching 30 or 40 a day, but all of them short.
From Ryan, we're going to check in with another one of our young anglers.
Let's check them out, man.
Sheldon Collings, the Oklahoma angler.
Is that right? Oh, Sheldon.
Oh, Sheldon.
He's fishing today.
The man that you use the word do. You use it all the time with this guy because he has been so close in so many big events, and we're just waiting on him to hoist one of those shields at this
No
point.
doubt,
right?
man. We talked about him being a young angler with an old soul. And like I said, mechanics, watching him fish, how thorough and meticulous he is. Took a lot of time in the off season to learn more about his electronics.
One of our anglers that really, he's done most of his damage around boat docks with a jig. He's mixing in a topwater some as well, but really bulk of his weight coming on a jig, shallow. The shallower the better,
Yeah,
he told us yesterday.
He was saying during practice that he tried the deep stuff and he caught fish out there, but the better quality was more shallow. So went away from the quantity, focused on the quality, and it seems to be paying off for him.
We caught up with Sheldon this morning at the launch to get his morning feelings as well. Let's check in with that and see what the young anglers think.
Here. It is Championship Friday of the NPFL on Watts Bar Lake in Spring City, Tennessee. We're sitting in third place going into today. We got less than 2 pounds from the leader, so we are in contention to win this tournament, which is very surprising after the practice I had. Going into the first day of the event, I was on the mindset of, man, I need to catch a limit, and here it is 2 days later, and I've got a shot to win. So yesterday was tough, but we stumbled across a little something that we're going to do pretty much most of the day today, so hopefully it works out, but no matter what happens, we're going to leave it all on the water and just go fishing.
Some early morning topwater action with Sheldon.
I've heard that
before we
before.
went live.
That is. Words hurt, Sheldon.
Doing work with a jerk bait, a shower blow, and a jig.
Got him biggin'.
Sheldon. Our anglers have been on the water for a couple hours before we get out of bed and go on live.
Look at the size of that crappie.
Sheldon having a fun morning so far.
Well, let
looks
Kevin
like.
Rogers find out where that's
Back
at.
to Sheldon live, and it looks like in typical Sheldon fashion, he's going to make a move. We see that a lot.
I'm actually going to run right over here real quick.
Sheldon's going to make a move, and we're going to move over to Matt Massey, the angler with the biggest boom of the tournament so far, a 19-pound stringer anchored by a 7-pound kicker.
Yesterday, he brought the Matt Massey Massacre to stage. 19 pounds with a 7-pound kicker.
He's been doing several different things. Matt calls Florida home, but he's from Colorado originally.
think he partakes in that Colorado Kool-Aid?
Hooked up. Live.
There he is.
Look how pale it is.
I was about to say, look, I think that
I don't think he'll make it, but we'll see.
Little different program for Matt than what we expected to see him start with. This is not how the bulk of his weight came yesterday.
Are we going to wait to
for
see?
Matt Massey.
Are we going to wait to see what he was doing, or are you going to let us in on what he was doing?
Hey Matt, tell me
just
about
wait.
your morning so far.
Well, I started this morning over where I left off yesterday. I'm fishing this grass flat. It's got a bunch of coontail on it, kind of isolated patches of grass, and these fish are, that's a 1.5 right there. These fish are kind of just set up in here, roaming these clumps of coontail. What a mess I got here. There's a lot of bluegill and stuff in here, as well as some shad. I found in the grass when you catch catfish are in there eating. Usually bluegill or bait, and that's always a good sign. When I came in here yesterday, the first fish I caught was a catfish, and then I proceeded to catch quite a few more bass, and then caught a 4.5 here to call up to where I ended up yesterday. So I'm throwing this striking thunder cricket and just slow working it through the grass, and it's slow and go, but slow and steady wins the race, right? We'll see how it goes today. I'm excited to be out here, and
We were able to catch up with Matt as well this morning before blast off on Finale Friday. His first top 5 going into a final day here on the league. Florida's Matt Massey.
Can you tell me about your day yesterday and tell me what your game plan is for today?
Man, I had a great day yesterday. Ended up with a quick limit, and then I started just bouncing around, fished 100% new water, and started upgrading. One here, one there, but they were bigger. I had a 7-pounder to upgrade, one that was at 4, and then one that was at 4.5. And the last hour of yesterday, I just kind of went graphing to find some more stuff today. It's just one of those special moments where everything you do is the right decision, and I hope that continues today. We'll see. I don't know. I got high hopes. I'm optimistic, and I'm excited to just go fishing and have fun. See how it unfolds. So we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned.
Look, before we went live here this morning, Matt on this grass flat coontail mixed with milfoil.
$14.
There we go. I'm jealous. Throwing a bladed jig and grass. There we go.
Good one
Think
from
you
Matt
wanted
there.
that?
Sure.
Before we went live. Now back out on the water live, Mr. Massey. Just 1-9 back from Patrick Walters coming into the morning.
And we've talked to the anglers about the grass and different grass, and he's found coontail. We've got some guys fishing milfoil and a couple of different things. You asked about eelgrass the other day. Nobody's seen any of the eelgrass.
Yeah, the Tennessee River, for anybody watching it, if you fish Pickwick, if you fish Wheeler, if you fish Gunnersville, eelgrass is everywhere. It has really, especially on a lake like Guntersville, it's overtaken, and it's not on the bar. It's, you see a little eelgrass at Chick as well, which is the next lake down on the system, but it's not growing up here on Watts Bar. And they're lucky. The eelgrass can get a little interesting at times. From Matt Massey, we're going to jump over to the man, as Bradley Hallman described, the gorilla on top of this field, South Carolina's Patrick Walters. We caught up with Patrick this morning.
It's in the rain so far. We got one in the box. Just a keeper. Just missed one out of a brush pile. Just kind of trying to get things going this morning, figure out what we're going to do day-wise. Let me slide that catch real quick, boss. Just fishing some brush, getting that big worm out, the old monster. Just trying to get things going. Nothing crazy so far. We didn't zero. That's the biggest thing. We're started up compared to where we've been started down every day. I just want to work my way up here and then work my way down because there's a bunch of water down lake that I hadn't been hitting, and I want to give us enough time down there. I want to run a bunch of this stuff up here early and then work our way down there. This rain get through here.
We were able to catch up with Patrick as he idled out this morning. Kind of a familiar scene from him leading a big tournament or trying to chase down a trophy. South Carolina's Patrick Walters.
Championship day. It's finale Friday. I like it. We're going out of the top spot. Listen, we went out of the same spot at Hartwell and we didn't close it. Today, we're going to close it. That's the goal. We're going fishing today. Change things up. We're going to start on the top, work our way down. We're just going to go fishing. Have fun, see what happens. See if we can make some money today. Morning.
Before we went live, Patrick, as we heard there, one keeper off of a brush pile already. If you joined us yesterday, you saw Patrick, a lot of running and gunning, checking out the mini brush piles that Watts Bar has to offer, the ledges, the points, offshore humps. We saw him do it all yesterday, some jerkbait fishing, some big worm fishing. Biggest fish came on a football jig, but you can expect more of the same. He has a lot of cover that he's found, a lot of areas that he's got a lot of confidence in that he found graphing during practice. So he won't leave anything out there today. And a late check-in for all these guys in the top five. They don't check in till 5 p.m.
That's right. We saw some interesting stuff out of him yesterday. We had some good angles of his graphs, watching. We were actually seeing what he was seeing. He was breaking it down for us, how he was fishing that ledge, that transition, and how we could see him stacked up. And you did a good job yourself. Imagine that somehow, but breaking it down for us and explaining to the folks at home exactly what he was doing. So it was unordinary for you to say something entertaining and educational.
I'm just glad you finally noticed something I did. Anything you took away from that, Patrick, the piece we got?
Confidence. Dude's wound up, son. Wall to wall, treetop tall.
He was yesterday when he put his big one in the boat.
Sure.
He knew that was going to keep him right there where he wanted to be. And of course, he caught a 6-pounder the first day. We talked yesterday, would that be the difference maker? Because it was the biggest bass of the event until Matt Massey weighs in the 7-pounder. So I think whether it's Matt 7, Patrick 6, or a fish we haven't seen yet today from one of our anglers, I do think that fish over 5 pounds, over 6 pounds will end up being the difference maker in who hoists the trophy.
Absolutely.
For Patrick, we're going to check in with our final angler we haven't got to check in on yet this morning. One of our favorites, Pug Clements. Pug will show us a lot of boat docks today, I have a feeling. You saw him swim a white jig.
All right, good morning, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. We are back at our marina from yesterday, and it's been a good morning. We basically got one fish right now. I mean, there's 4 in the live well, but one of them's the ones we need. So
off to a good start.
Just gonna keep grinding, man. We're gonna grind this baby out. I want a shield, and I want to go on low budget live, and all that stuff, man. I want it all. I want the fame and the fortune and everything. So, nah, man, just kidding. But
he ain't kidding.
I wasn't kidding about low budget live.
My man, shout outs, shout outs.
But nah, it's been a good morning, man. Got a little rain this morning. I think that rain from yesterday, I think they were a little day early because it has flooded this morning, and I'm out here in my galoshes or whatever you want to call these things, and my feet are wet. And
yeah, they got some miles on them. They got that gangster lean. It's time to, hopefully he does win and buy a new pair of shoes.
This is an area we saw Pug do most of his work in, but we were able to catch up with Pug and get that morning emotion from him as well. Let's check in with Pug before he got out there on the bar.
So here's the deal. Day one, had a good bag. Wasn't sure how we caught it. We just caught it just junk fishing. Yesterday, same deal, honestly. Caught 3 of my fish in an area I'd never fished before. But I've been saying since last year I wanted to give myself a legit shot to win a tournament, and we caught enough the first 2 days to give ourselves a shot. So today, I mean, we're full tilt. We're not worried about catching 5. We're gonna fish for big fish all day long. I don't want anything but to win. And Patrick's leading it. Obviously he's a great fisherman, and you know there's a lot of great fishermen in this field. But I'm telling you, I'm anxious. Like, I sat up last night late. I thought, and we're just gonna let the day come to us. But I mean, we're gonna go for whatever we can do today. We're gonna go for it, and we kind of a zero or hero situation. But I want it pretty bad, so I know everybody does. But today's gonna be a good day, dude. I'm ready to go. So let's get it.
Before we went live, Pug, as he mentioned earlier,
Here's a bite.
Had 4 in the box, only 1 that he wants to take to the scales.
That's the one I want to see.
Oh my God. Live here. I told you they lived here.
Pug, that's the one that we're hearing about from him there, that 4 fish in the box, 1 good one across the bow of the other anglers.
Not gonna lie, man, when he was talking on his interview, I got chills because you can see this means a lot to him.
It does mean a
and
lot.
We've seen what a win in one of these tournaments at NPFL can do. You know, we're new on the scene. You know, it's our 2nd year, but we've seen what winning a shield or 2 shields can do for exposure and everything else. It can catapult your career, or at least help.
And Pug is a guy that not only has a larger-than-life personality, he's fun to talk to, he's fun to watch on camera, but he has a passion, and all these guys do, but an obsession with bass fishing. He loves it. It's his life. It's his life. And so being in a moment like this, it means so much, man. And so he's certainly a guy that it would be awesome to see hoist that shield. You know how hard he works. We see him on Instagram putting in his pre-fish time. He's really out there, you know, traveling around before the lakes go off limits, putting in the work.
He's dedicated, man, without a doubt. He's a goofy son of a gun, but he's dedicated. He'll make a dog laugh. Like I say, he's fun on camera. He's in the zone right now because he knows he's in. There he goes. He can win, man.
And the biggest takeaway, and I said this yesterday, he is doing what he loves to do.
There we go.
He loves to skip a jig. No, he's not fishing out of his comfort zone. He loves fishing docks. He loves skipping a jig, and this is a Carolina technique. That's skipping a white jig, stroking it under these docks, and that's how he caught a majority of his weight yesterday. Already doing work with it again today.
How would you feel if you were in his shoes right now, this early in the morning, final day, in contention to win, and already have 4 in the box?
Man, it settles you down. Yeah, I think it makes him dangerous. He's got till 5 p.m. You know, our live coverage ends at 2 p.m. They got 3 more hours. You got to think about that, man. 3 hours after we turn the cameras off to get it done. And a lot of guys like Sheldon Collings, for
these fish
example,
are getting
got
under
their
these marinas right now to get out of the rain. They don't like the water. They don't like to get wet. I think that's what the deal. That's what's going on.
Be sure to tip your waitress. He'll be here all week.
Oh, God.
He'll be stealing my dad jokes, Pug.
I'm glad he cut you off.
Yeah, he did. He did indeed, and he is too, because I was probably just fixing to say something stupid.
Not you.
But he really, watching Pug do this, it's you can tell he does this a lot.
Oh, yeah. We saw his skills yesterday, man, skipping that jig. A few times he rung the dinner bell, but for the most part, man, his mechanics are good too. He really knows how to put it where he wants it.
But if you're joining us, you watch the action in his rod, like how he works the jig. That jig's not going all the way to the bottom. He's letting it fall, not really even that, just a few feet down, and then he starts to pump that jig back to the boat, and it gets a reaction bite from these fish that are suspended under the floats, suspended on cross pieces that come off the dock, and suspended off those boats in the slips as well. It's a great technique.
He's also
But practice before you go do this.
Yeah, I was about to say. He's been known to pump it up the jam, too. He's a dancer. People don't know that about Pug. Not only does he pump the fishing rod, but he can pump it up the jam. He can drop down and get his eagle on. Pug is a character.
Speaking of characters, sounds like we called up with our man, the East Tennessee native, now Oklahoma boy, Bradley Hallman, who's out there getting wet today for us on NPFL Live. Let's check in with Bradley.
All right, guys, coming to you live here on the water from beautiful Watts Bar Lake. As you can see, it's a lovely spring day here in East Tennessee. Fall coming over the hills, rain coming down on our head. Got Michael Brewer behind me. This guy is sitting in 6th place. He's only 3 pounds, some change out of the lead to start the day. He does not have a camera boat with him, so he's the first guy out, closest one to the leader. We are sitting on his primary spot, only his primary spot for big ones. It's not for numbers. Michael hasn't been catching a lot of fish. This is just a secondary point coming out of a spawning bay. This is really where I thought this thing would go down, not out on the main river, but he's really one of the first guys that we've seen on structure like this. He's only in about 8 foot of water. It's not a deep spot, but it's got big boulder rocks and it's got giant fish on it. He said when he does get a bite here, it's a big one. He broke one off this morning right when we pulled up on him. It's the only bite that he's had. He still continues to make multiple casts on this thing. It's the one thing I can tell you guys that I really have seen kind of come together, whether they're fishing the shallow grass flats like Ryan Satterfield is, or whether they're out on structure like Michael Brewer, or even the guys out on the main river. The one thing that I see in common, dude, and it's not easy to do, and I've been amazed, I've learned a lot from these guys just watching this week. They will sit on one of these spots for hours and make the same cast over and over and over with different baits, just giving them the change up, you know, the TVA change up. They're going through the rotation. But other than that, they are just trying to get a bite because they know those fish are there. And it's very hard to do, whereas a lot of the guys that are not having as much success are just kind of doing a lot of running and gunning, and it's cost them. And really, I think that this is what we're going to see play out with some of the top 10 guys have done all week, is that they are milking and getting the most production out of their area they possibly can. So, guys, hopefully catch up to you, maybe with Brewer, maybe with another angler, but we'll see you guys here in a little bit.
Good stuff from Bradley out on the water, and we appreciate him, you know, risking getting that shirt wet.
Okay, what is this whole TVA change-up thing? Is this some Illuminati top secret stuff?
It is. We don't speak of that. We don't speak of that. No, he's hitting on. We saw it with Dale Prinky yesterday. We've seen it with Luis Fernandez sitting on the same spot. Sean Murphy yesterday trying to really milk a spot. You can see him down there. We saw it with Patrick Walters, probably more than anybody, right? Switching rotations. He can see the bass. Okay, with all the electronics they got, they can count them. They can almost see the scales on these fish, right? So you're constantly trying to throw something to trigger a bite because you know they're there. Michael, on this spot in particular, Bradley's talking about from us interviewing Michael, when he has set the hook, it's been a 4-pound plus bass the first 2 days. So going for that shield today, he's not going to leave that spot without trying everything. So that's what he means by TVA changeup. You've always got to show them a little something different. And especially on offshore stuff, you never know what it's going to be from one day to the next. One day it's a 6XD crankbait, one day it's a football jig, depending on how the fish are set up, for sure.
Gotcha.
Back with Pug skipping these docks, and while Pug skips docks, we're going to check in with our sponsors that make it all possible here, the National Professional Fishing League, and we will see you guys on the other side for more Finale Friday live action.
So, you're looking to buy fishing electronics, huh? Are you also looking for true experts to help guide you through it? Well, at the Bass Tank, you've come to the right place. We are live forward-facing sonar pioneers with thousands of hours spent learning, through winning trophies, cashing checks, and just having fun. Whatever brand you need, we have it. We offer free shipping, and we have 2 financing options available. Our experts are here to help you. Call us today or visit thebasstank.com.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store. Because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know. Plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood, no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
I'm Doug Chapin, and this is how I fish fully loaded.
Guide Batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro Guide Batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
All right, guys, no insurance talk on beach day.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. Like the house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster, an insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
The bundle! It's a bundle and it saves you money! Hi, I'm Will from Progressive and I couldn't help it over here.
Super fun beach day, everybody.
Welcome back to the bar, Watts Bar Lake, Spring City, Tennessee. And our man Pug doing work so far this morning.
I'm a garfish.
Said he got 4 in the box. Wants to get rid of 3 of those 4. He's got 1 hammer in there, trying to get 4 more of those and win his first National Professional Fishing League Shield.
Okay. Pug Clements just doing work this morning. I get one of those a day, Fat Cat. Let's check in with Ryan Satterfield, ladies and gentlemen. As I bumble and fumble my way through NPFL Live this morning. What's wrong, Fat Cat?
I'm good, man.
You good?
A little familiar backdrop with Ryan Satterfield.
White Creek. A creek that we were told coming into this could be the winning area by several locals. Good stuff.
We're on the board.
Attaboy. And it seems like he's kind of opposite what he's off to a slower start today than what he was yesterday.
Oh, it was certainly fast and furious when we went to him yesterday, boat to boat with Bradley Hallman. He did work.
And he touched on it this morning. Said it's a little bit slower, wasn't exactly sure why. And one thing, too, that they're probably going to deal with today, a little bit more pressure, a little bit more company out there, wouldn't you say? Friday tournaments on Watts Bar.
There's a big tournament tomorrow. We heard last night a lot of guys be out pre-fishing. Absolutely.
8 pounds. I'm at 7.5.
I know how you're catching all these 10-pounders you talk about all the time. Satterfield's going to check that weight so he can put it in the beatdown Weigh Live leaderboard for us, and we're going to check back in with Massey.
Had a phenomenal day yesterday. Oh, there he is, back in action again.
Working that vibrating jig, Strike King Thunder Cricket. Oof. Picking up where he left off.
Come on, man.
Yesterday afternoon.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. Oh, come on.
I think got some shoulders on him.
How you like that one? Yeah.
Attaboy. Out there throwing that moon cricket around that coon
That's what
tail.
we need right there. There's nothing, no better feeling in the world.
Matt laid 19 pounds on the scales yesterday. We've said it several times this morning, but it was a huge stringer.
He had one fish yesterday that almost weighed what his first day weight was. His
sure.
first day weight was a little over 8 pounds. He weighed on a 7-pounder yesterday.
And if he keeps getting bites like that, these other guys better tighten up.
No doubt.
Matt was 1-9 off of the lead coming in. He's erased that already this morning. Patrick Walters with one keeper so far. Matt, as far as what we've seen so far, has put 3 in the box, 1 4-pounder and another really nice fish and 1 just keeper. He's going to enter it in Weigh Live for us right now.
I'm using a 3/8 ounce Strike King Thunder Cricket. I got a curly tail grub as a trailer. I throwing it on 20-pound Seaguar and Vizex with a St. Croix medium heavy 7'4" rod, and lose 8:3-to-1 ratio reel. I like to use a little faster, but I just like to fish fast, so a lot of guys want to slow it down, but it's hard for me to slow down. Another fish fast.
From Matt Massey.
Right there. Gets her done. Woo!
Good stuff from Matt.
Slow down a little bit.
He's feeling it, man. He knows just a couple more bites like that.
Lord.
Thought he was already bowing up again, but ripping that Thunder Cricket from the grass, getting those reaction bites on those fish up there that he said are feeding on bluegill. He's told us that to open the show.
That's right.
from one guy that's trying to run down the leader to the leader, Patrick Walters.
Got a little bit of sunshine peeking out. Look at that. It's a beautiful
Was it really expected, right?
morning. Not really. That front's supposed to be out of there by 10-ish, something like that.
We're upriver right now. We're above Tom Fuller, up mid-lake. You know, I've been fishing up here in the afternoons. We just got past the rainstorm. Things are clearing up. About to take the rain gear off. We got one in the box. We've had a couple bites so far. Caught one or two shorts. I think one. Missed one or two. Typical slow morning. It looks like the water's got a little bit dirtier. But I want to do most of my damage today. What I think I'm going to do is down lake, mid-lake, south of here. So I kind of want to get this out my system. I kind of want to come up here, fish a little bit, see if I can catch a good fish or two. That way I'm not going to come up here during the prime time. The bite's going to get good around 10 to 1, 10 to 2 is when I've been catching the majority of the fish. So it's come up here, get it out the way, roll back down.
Roll on.
Covering lots of water. Unlike a lot of the anglers, you know, Bradley's saying he's seeing guys camp out. We've seen that, but Patrick is not that guy. He's moving around. Fishing a football jig a lot this week to do a lot of his damage.
Smaller profile too. He kind of broke that down for us, talking about he was fishing a smaller profile football head jig, and he was tweaking it too, right? He was coloring the trailer. He was very specific about the size of trailer he was using, and just felt that smaller profile is what they were targeting.
One of our anglers in pro fishing that is certainly proficient beyond belief with his electronics.
Today, okay? Before I leave Watts Bar, I am going to catch a good keeper on the plug.
Yeah, it's really something we're not seeing a lot of guys utilize.
White bass, but it's going to be a keeper. Golly, I smoked something.
I'm about to say, come on, man. Give me some lotto numbers.
Yeah, if he called a shot like that.
That'd have been money right there. Man, I'm going all kind of stuff right there.
Hooked up.
Oh, keeper, whitey.
I'm going to say the famed Tennessee River white bass.
Good catch and release right there. That's how you do it. He's a very efficient fisherman. You can see how he did that right there. Just back in action. He knows what he's doing.
They're under the boat. Big. White bass are.
Those white bass will make you nervous too. They'll send you to the hospital with treble hooks when you get them on a crankbait like that. They get to flopping. They're hard to get a hold of.
Ooh, coming up that ledge feels good.
They've ruined many a man's day out on the Tennessee River.
Oh yeah, be a bass.
That's not a white bass.
One.
I foul hooked up.
Nope. Okay.
Whitey.
Spoke too soon.
So is it just a big party on that ledge, or whatever he's targeting right now?
Absolutely.
A little bit of everybody down there. It's a mixed crowd.
A lot of bait fish, a lot of bluegill, a lot of white bass. While Patrick works on those white bass, we're going to check back in with Matt Massey.
Lock her down.
Matt Massey throwing that Thunder Cricket, this grass flat. Matt hooked up. Familiar sight this morning. from Mr. Massey.
Be another keeper. It's got to be 15 inches for a largemouth, 12 inches for a spot, and 18 inches for a smallmouth. Number 4. Number 4.
We said it before and we'll say it again. He has certainly erased that 1-9 deficit early on Finale Friday.
Yeah,
and then some.
No doubt. That beat down weight live track is going to look a little different this morning. And some of the guys, too, have been slow putting their weights in, rightfully so, because of the rain and storming this morning. So if you guys are wondering why some of your anglers haven't put weights in, give them a second. As soon as they get dry, they'll put them in for you. If not, Luke will tighten them up.
Matt's getting those coal tags on the bass because he's planning on throwing some back today. With a guy that catches 19 pounds on day 2. He's thinking there's going to be some culling a little bit later. So while he does that, we're going to check back in with Pug Clements. Pug's still in the same marina there.
That ain't what we were looking for. A world full of hate, be alive. Blowdown's over there looking pretty juicy too.
Was Pug singing a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Pretty juicy. If I can find me a pine tree laid down over there, I'm gonna fish it.
He's got some vocals.
Morning, how you doing?
It's my Uncle Rick. Good to see him there.
One day at a time.
Living the life out there on that houseboat on Watts Bar.
There'll be a few of those out there this weekend floating around, won't it? Memorial Day weekend, Watts Bar.
Oh, it's fixing to get bumping. This rain gets out of here, a little sunshine coming to East Tennessee. Say about 2 o'clock, the lake's going to look a little different. Everybody starts taking off work early.
The weather's going to improve as the day progresses,
right.
too. A little bit of wind, though. We got some wind that's shifting from southwest to a straight west wind.
I do think you can see that boat traffic play a factor this afternoon.
Because we do have a fair share of guys fishing that main lake stuff.
But it could hurt Pug if he stays in the marina. They get to backing those boats out, you know?
You're exactly right.
Which those fish are used to it, I will say that. I mean,
we saw that yesterday. He pulled two under the pontoon where the guy was pressure washing. The guy offered to turn the pressure washer off. Pug's like, nah, it don't bother them. 2 casts later, thonk, catches the keeper. So,
hey, but you're supposed to be really quiet when you bass fish. You know that. You and I we've never had that problem.
We don't know what being quiet means.
What could possibly be under there?
Pug's trying to find his jig. We're going to check in with some highlights. This morning has been fast and furious so far out in the rain on Watts Bar Lake, and we enter the 9 o'clock hour in East Tennessee. Check back in with some of the morning's damage so far from our NPFL anglers.
They're all that thing.
Pug and Sheldon both catching them off
Look how
docks this morning. Look.
Oh my God.
That was a good one right there.
Stay on there. Stay on there and come here. Come here. They live here. I told you they lived here.
Back to Sheldon. Big shot by Pug.
As y'all can see,
Sheldon quietly Sheldon quietly doing some work.
Look at the size of that crappie.
That's a slab, son.
That's all right. There's a bite.
Patrick Walters, our leader, coming into finale Friday with his lone keeper so far that we have seen come across now the bass boat. Having a good time this morning. Certainly relaxed.
Speaking of a good time.
And the man that's relaxed but doing work.
Little guy.
Matt Massey picking up where he left off on day 2. Matt, 4 fish in the box so far this morning. There we go. Two great fish in the boat from Matt so far. Welcome back to the NPFL Live Studios. Luke Duncan, Fat Cat Newton. We got our man Bradley Hallman out there on the water. He's already brought us some solid info this morning.
Absolutely.
But Matt Massey, the story of the morning. He was the story of that drive-through weigh-in with Big Al McCullough. He brought the boom, 19 pounds, 7-pound kicker, and this morning picking up where he left off.
I said it earlier, man. That 7-pound kicker he caught yesterday was almost as big as his first day bag. First day bag, a little over 8 pounds. Comes in second day, like you said, with over 19. And here he is carrying that momentum in to finale Friday. It's scary right now because he's in a good spot, obviously around quality. And me loving to throw that bladed jig in that coontail and grass, I don't foresee this bite shutting off the way he's catching them this morning. That bite just doesn't shut off like that.
No, those fish are firing, they're triggering. There's shad in there, there's bluegill in there. He's really excited about that area. We heard from Matt and from Bradley yesterday, there's something else in his back pocket. I wonder if we're going to see that.
I hope so.
I believe that's where he caught the big
this
fish.
Morning too. He said nobody was
he's
home
got
yet.
some deeper stuff he's doing as well that's very interesting. So I think Matt is very dangerous right now. Sheldon Collings off to a good start. Pug off to a great start as well. Patrick a little slower so far, but we saw that yesterday as well.
And it seemed like that was kind of, he wanted to check on some stuff and then go to the juices the way it sounded earlier with him.
Yes.
So, and even though it's off to a slow start for Patrick, that means 0 for that dude.
Absolutely. We've seen it so many times with him, but he's so calculated in his process of, okay, well, I'm going to go X, Y, Z. I'm going to do this. That way I'm at this part of the lake at the good times. He's got it.
Picture him in the garage with a big whiteboard and everything's out here,
yes,
lines of this and lines of that. Everything is systematic.
The coach, that's what Hallman calls him, the coach. But he does. Everything is very calculated. He's very meticulous. He's showing those fish a different look. Had 16 rods and reels out yesterday. He told us, and he goes, man, this is way less than I normally have
from 4 to 40.
For sure.
That's what he was saying. He said, this is not the most I've had. It's not the least I've had yet. Like you say, he's going to do what it takes, do what he thinks it takes to win.
Without a doubt. And this morning, that interview, he was ready to be on top of that leaderboard at the end of the day, you could tell. But that Way Live leaderboard has been shaken up like always. We always see this. Our guys are strongly encouraged to enter their weights into the Beat Down Mounts Way Live tracker. And we're going to take a look at that leaderboard right now. Of course, Matt Massey unofficially in that top spot. He had a 1-pound, 9-ounce deficit coming into the day. Erased it and then some. Timmy Reams, a name that we see a lot on this leaderboard. In second place, Eddie Carper, another guy, started the day in the top 10, up to third place. Ryan Satterfield, a little bit slower morning, but he's starting to put it together. Caught a couple keepers there. Ryan Satterfield fishing shallow grass, a lot like Matt Massey, but more of a finesse approach. We've seen him with a spinning rod.
He was catching them out of the grass with a spinning rod, which scares me.
Terrifying.
That's how you catch them, absolutely, because we know how it can get. But did a great job yesterday, off to a slower start this morning. I just don't know.
I still think he'll have something to say about this. He was just a few ounces back from Patrick, but he has a 1-2 punch grass and offshore. I think that Ryan's going to be in the mix. Confident young angler, certainly a talented angler as well. Craig Saylor, a new name to that top 10. Patrick Walters, Sheldon Collings, Mark Schilling, Adam Savage.
Adam Savage,
your guy.
I'm telling you, it's awesome to see that. A cool cat laid back, somebody that was super eager. He was a huge supporter of us last year, huge supporter, very eager to get on the NPFL. He made it, and I'm so happy for that dude to see him that top 10, having a good tournament here at Watts
Right
Bar.
outside of our top 10 coming in today. He's moved up unofficially here in this 9 o'clock hour. And then Pug Clements rounding out that top 10. But Pug, I don't think with the rain, I don't think he's entered his weights. I don't think that is.
I agree.
That's not
and rightfully so. I understand
that.
Sure. Now,
Pug.
listen, if it dries off for an hour, he didn't put him in, I know you're going to be. Yeah.
Headlock coming for Pug. But certainly a shakeup like always. It's Finale Friday, man. The last day of this event, there's always going to be a shakeup,
That's right. That's right. And we're just getting started. Dude, we have had so much action this morning to where I've got no idea which way it's going to go. If we're seeing that much action in the first couple hours of the tournament, dude, we got a long day ahead of us.
If that keeps going, it's going to be our worst show ever because you and I have been tongue-tied, twisted, and tangled up all morning long. Let's get back out on Watts Bar to Sheldon Collings. Getting a little sunshine. That's going to make so many things dangerous for me this afternoon, in my opinion.
We might get other guys. There we go.
Yeah, it's going to, and like a Massey, we saw 8 pounds the first day come vaulting up from 40th place. I mean, who's to say that doesn't happen today? We saw a 19-pound bag. A Brad Knight becomes dangerous, right? I know we keep throwing Brad out there, 13th place coming into today,
and then
starting to put it together on some of his offshore holes.
I called him last night. I said, put a seat in your boat. I said, okay, I will. No problem. We met up this morning. I said, you got that seat? No.
Sheldon's already shed that rain gear, hooked up.
There's a keeper.
Is that going to be number?
Real close. He's long. Real long.
3 for Sheldon this morning? 3 or 4?
I'm not even going to say. I'm clueless.
Long and skinny. All the same size. Got us 4.
4 fish for Sheldon.
Thank you, fishy. Not big.
Yeah, man, you see that sun starting to peek through?
Good.
Uh-oh.
It's going to be big 3 days in a row.
Look at it. You can tell he's shallow. Got the mud kicked up.
Good job, Jig.
Taking
He's
his
probably
jig.
just a pound. He's real skinny.
The shallower the better, he told us yesterday. The shallower the walkway on the dock, the shallower the dock in general, the better quality bites he's been getting.
He said that's where he was seeing balls of fry.
Still a lot of fry garden fish.
That's right.
Some of the other anglers we talked to last night mentioned that they think there are a lot of fish spawning still, or garden fry in that late part of the spawn. And
that was cold.
We're going to let Sheldon get re-rigged, and we're going to check in with South Carolina's Pug Clements.
Spice it up a little.
Birds singing, sun shining. What is happening? We haven't seen this view.
Is that pine tree he wanted to flip?
Still in the same area, though.
Still.
Great glory, these are deep.
He told us yesterday, just fishing whatever looks good.
That's right.
Trying to stay confident, keep baits in his hand that he really loves. And so far, it's working for Pug.
And we saw him catch him several different ways yesterday. The swim jig, the plopper. Saw him flipping the beaver. Like we talked about earlier, he calls it junk fishing. We call it versatility.
That's right. Skilled angler versatility. We'll
That's
just
it.
use some big words on it. But it's junk fishing here, there, and that's May. That's May in so many places. You catch one deep, you catch one on a brush pile, you catch one off a boat dock, catch one on a topwater, catch one out of a pine tree, and you got your fire. You know, it happens so many times.
And when you say that, we were hearing things yesterday. We heard a couple of the guys catching smallmouth, shallow, up in coves, which
it's random.
Random.
Random has been the word this week. A lot of times when we watch a weigh-in, you see a guy 17 pounds, 15 pounds. Like, man, those guys are out there getting it done, catching them. And, oh, well, I caught my 5th one about 5 minutes ago. I only have 5 bites all day. It's hooked up.
Lean brim. Lean brim. Whew. It fell off that thing just right, boy. Whew.
I ain't mad at you. Hook sets are free.
Hook sets be free, though.
Ah, that's right. Great minds think
Well, unless
alike.
you lose your tungsten and your hook, then they cost a little bit.
Pug was swinging, son.
Yeah, man.
See if Pug can get that tungsten and that hook back, and we're going to check in with our sponsors. We'll see you guys back on the other side for more Watts Bar action. Day 3 in the NPFL.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store, because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know, plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood, no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
So if you don't know about me, I was in the military for quite a while, and in that process I picked up the habit of chewing tobacco. I came across this stuff last year, midsummer, and started using it, and now I don't even use tobacco at all. If you don't know about Fully Loaded Chew, it's a non-tobacco product that contains nicotine. Fully Loaded Chew offers a variety of nicotine strengths. They have Fully Loaded, which is full nicotine, Half Cocked, which is half strength, and zero nicotine options for you. So if you're looking to completely kick the habit, they have something that's going to fit you. They have a variety of flavors. So if you're used to chewing a certain thing, they have something that's going to fit what you're used to also. To sign up for their monthly subscription service or to get your hands on any Fully Loaded Chew product, head to fullyloadedchew.com and grab some.
Batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro Guide Batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
Are you looking to install your own fishing electronics? Well, the Bass Tank is here to help you. The solution is the Bass Tank Power Harness. It takes the guesswork out of installation. No more voltage issues or interference. Designed by an engineer so that you can get professional results right there in your own garage. Installation done right with the help of the Bass Tank Power Harness. You can feel confident knowing that your installation was done right. The Bass Tank Power Harness. Give us a call or order yours today at thebasstank.com.
Welcome back to the bar. And Pug must not have got that tungsten back and that hook right before we went to break.
You know where you could get more though? FishermanCentral.com. All your tackle needs, just go to FishermanCentral.com. For fishermen, by fishermen. Then guys, if you want it, they have it. If you're around the Akron, Ohio area, stop in and check out that store up there around Catawba, around Port Clinton on Lake Erie. Another phenomenal store. Both of the stores have over 25,000 square foot of fishing tackle. FishermanCentral.com.
Pug gets re-rigged. We're going to check back in with our leader, Patrick Walters.
DeBon.
Look at that. He's on a different lake.
And Patrick Walters is going to make a move, something that we've seen. Does not let moss grow between his foot and the hot foot.
Running a gun and bebopping and flip-flopping.
That was some serious rain there for a minute, wasn't it?
Patrick heads on down the lake. We're going to jump over to Ryan Satterfield. Check in with the young Arkansas angler. Started the day in second place, just 9 ounces back. Does just look like a different lake for everybody now.
I'm telling you, man, it's wild.
Hey, Ryan, give me an update. Tell me what's going on and weather change.
Yeah, we got one in the box. We've been getting bit the last 15 minutes or so. They're just little. I don't know what's changed. The big one's not biting. I'm not sure if anything's changed. Maybe they moved a little bit. Maybe the timing's not right yet. 4 more bites, what we're looking for.
Rain's moved up, the sun's come in. How do you think that's going to affect things?
You know, I expected to get bit during the rain, and so now, hopefully, you know, maybe the sun coming out, maybe it'll make things a little different. I know there's plenty of fish here.
We saw Ryan catch the bulk of his weight early yesterday, before 10 o'clock in this area. It's offshore grass, shallow offshore grass, 2 to 3 feet of water on a flat. Similar to what Matt Massey's doing. Matt power fishing.
That's right.
More than Ryan. Saw Ryan with a wacky worm and a little light Carolina rig as well yesterday.
That's some Texas stuff. We're down south, Arkansas, Texas, that light Carolina rig deal, right?
For sure. Kind of a Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend technique from back in the day. Be interesting to see this system, this front that we've seen. It's really plagued the entire country. And we're up in Wisconsin. We've kind of been at the top end of it. I mean, it's in huge front all the way down to the Gulf. It's really crazy, and it's. Will the high pressure affect it this afternoon? You know, I know guys like Sheldon, guys like Patrick, focusing on brush piles, ledges. Some of our other anglers that are fishing offshore that aren't necessarily on camera today. Will that sun position those fish like they've been hoping on their stuff? Will that hurt the shallow grass bite though? A guy like Matt Massey catching them on moving baits in the rain, wind, clouds, when that wind switches direction, sun gets out, high pressure, will it affect that bite? Be interesting to see.
It'll be interesting.
That remaining time on live today. Of course, we go till 2 p.m. Myself and the big cat, Bradley Hallman, out on the water.
That live weigh-in is going to start at 3 p.m. with Al McCullough bringing the boom. Smallmouth have played a little role. We've seen a few weighed in yesterday and the day before. but nobody's brought in a limit of smallmouth, and we kind of knew that coming into this, right? This time of the year.
Yeah, for sure. You see that in the
5, 18
pre-spawn a lot on Watts Bar. I mean, they certainly weigh in a lot. There are a lot of 3 and 4 pound smallmouth in this lake. That 18-inch length limit can be hard to hit. We heard Justin Kimmel say that on stage yesterday. He had a 17.5-incher that weighed 3 pounds. He had to throw back. And
well, we saw Pug do the same thing.
Absolutely. Caught one on a plopper yesterday. So they have played a lot of guys that are having success. You know, some of our guys the first day in the top 10 certainly held them up on stage we saw, but nothing more than 2 so far really in a bag for what we've seen. And talking to guys like Derek Blake and Brad Knight and Brian Hatfield that call Watts Bar home, that surprised some of them. They really thought with the cloud and the wind that somebody would pull up on the right little shoal, the right little bar, right point with a topwater and nail 5 smallmouth, 5 keeper smallmouth. They really, were surprised by that from talking to those guys, that it hasn't happened, especially yesterday with all that wind. And hey, this morning maybe somebody might have done it.
That's right.
Who knows? But this lake is, it's certainly not fishing up to its potential this week. I want to be sure to point that out. This place has been a hidden gem on the Tennessee River for many years. A lot of 3-pound fish, especially 3, 4-pound fish. You see 18 to 21, 22-pound stringers win here a good bit. And this year in 2022, the weights have been down overall, even in the pre-spawn tournaments. So we expected a tough weight event, and so far we have had that in Spring City, Tennessee. Quad box action. But all of our NPFL anglers have certainly been after it this morning on Finale Friday. Been lots of fish catches. We're going to look back at some of them right now. From the battle on the bar, $50,000 and a shield going to go to whoever figures it out the best.
Here on Finale Friday.
Finale Friday. I like saying that. Ryan Satterfield. One of his catches from this morning. A lot of grass, not a lot of bass with that one.
Here you go.
Matt Massey.
Doing what he's been doing, catching them.
The morning of Massey, I think we should say.
Yeah.
Morning of Massey.
The Massacre. Matt just out there catching them in that grass. Throwing that thunder cricket.
A few fish catches there from a lot of our anglers, covering the top 5 today on the bar. Ryan Satterfield back alive. Yesterday we didn't have a camera with Satterfield, but we were lucky enough for our man Bradley Hallman to catch up with Ryan, and we're hearing word that he has caught up with one of our top guys in that Progressive Angler of the Year race, and a guy that's unofficially in our top 10, Oklahoma's Eddie Carper. One Okie to the next. Let's check in with Bradley Hallman.
Guys, here we are. The sun has come out on Watts Bar Lake here in East Tennessee, and we have came up on a new angler. Eddie Carper has climbed up to the top of the unofficial leaderboard. I think Eddie's sitting somewhere in the top 5 right now, unofficially. Officially on the leaderboard. Eddie's got 4 fish in the boat, go about 7 pounds, which is a good start to the morning. We all know that. It's been a tough week. Anybody that starts off with a nice little limited start the morning off, he's 1 fish shy of that. Eddie's fishing brush piles right now. He said when the sun comes out, he's had a lot of success. He said, but he can only catch 1 or 2 out of each pile, and the fish kind of spook. He has to leave them, let them rest, and then come back, and then he can catch some more off of it. He's also got a deal going on the bank. He said he's had some bites on some docks. He caught a big smallmouth yesterday underneath the walkway, so way up shallow up on the docks. So he's got the 1-2 approach going, junk fishing 101, like we've been talking about, spawning. But Eddie's out here doing battle. I know Eddie's got a lot of family back home rooting for him right now, a lot of people in Oklahoma, just like Sheldon Collings. So all you SEC boys, there's a couple of Oklahoma boys here doing damage right here in your country. So just let y'all know. Back to you guys.
As a SEC fan, a Tennessee native, I feel like I have to end that piece by saying, A, go Vols, and B, I never thought I would need sunglasses to look at somebody's shirt.
Yeah, I thought he was commentating from Hawaii at first. I was like, what is he doing in Hawaii? Then I realized.
Bradley and his family are well-traveled. They'd go on some cool trips. So he's got those, I call those dad vacation shirts.
Dude, I dig it.
And Bradley's dad of the century. He's one of the best dads I know.
Yeah.
Love us some Bradley Hallman. Great stuff.
Great style. I like the swag, man.
He's throwing that Okie love out there, though.
Yeah.
He's
home
turf boy out there. And Bradley graduated Harriman, Tennessee, grew up on the shores of Watts Bar Lake. This is home to Bradley originally, and then he's an Okie transplant. So, hey, we're all Okies. He's a Tennessee boy at heart. He's been absolutely killing it for us.
He has. Great. Watson does a great job, too. We miss our boy worldwide this week. I know he's out there watching and listening. No shock right now to see what Eddie Carper's actually doing, though, is it?
You know, not at all. Mixing in shallow wood, mixing in brush piles, mixing in docks. Certainly a familiar scene from Eddie.
And he's definitely fishing his strength. This is what he likes to do. He tries to find stuff like this no matter where we go. But if the fish aren't on it, he knows how to go out deep and catch them out deep, too. He's a versatile angler. But
well, like Bradley mentioned in that piece, though, he is fishing some offshore brush piles in some of these pockets and things. And Eddie, just getting to know Eddie, keeping up with Eddie on social media especially, he likes those. He likes his electronics. He likes to do that. We give him credit for being, and he is an incredible flip. He likes to flip.
Because he talks about it. He'll let you know.
He's a spinner baiting, flipping.
At Hartwell last week, that's right. He was where he wanted to be.
Oklahoma angler. Really likes to get in the bushes, likes to get in that shallow wood, but he can mix it up out off the bank if he's got to.
You know what I'm saying? I said last week, didn't matter, nobody would have caught it, but I figured I'd bring it to everybody's attention and now ramble on about it. So what were you saying? I'll let you catch your breath. Eddie Carper just working them docks, fishing that shallow water.
I was just about to say I missed that event last week that you were at.
Appreciate it, man.
Upset. I'm gonna
appreciate you guys tuning in here at Watts Bar, Spring City, Tennessee. It's been a great tournament so far. It's been an exciting morning. Especially in the studio because we don't know what we're doing, but the guys in the water seem to know what they're doing because they're putting fish in the boat.
Speak for yourself, fat cat. Oh. Hooked up, boat to boat, light, little quick release. Eddie Carper. We've covered Eddie several times. Does a great job of breaking down what he's doing for us every time.
He's great at it.
There's been all this Oklahoma talk this morning, and got Eddie and Bradley out there representing Oklahoma. And one of our fine sponsors is from the state of Oklahoma. And we're going to hear more about them right now. The Bass Tank from the man himself, John Hookup Soakup.
Hey everyone, John Soakup, NPFL Pro and co-owner of the Bass Tank. The Bass Tank is an electronics accessory installation national shipping shop. We sell Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird. We've been known for really focusing on the niche of the forward shooting sonar, like the live scopes, the active targets, and things of that nature. We've been able to take those skill sets and kind of put them on display with the NPFL, winning the first UFOLO event with live scope. We've always been fishermen, but the creation of the Bass Tank actually came from a basic problem that I had. In 2018, I was at the Forest Wood Cup, and I actually broke down at the Forest Wood Cup because of improper installation, and it came from the manufacturer on down. And simply put, the industry as a whole has kind of accepted, bad quality of installation when it comes to electronics. And as the electronics industry pushes and creates more demand, more amperage, more things like that, there's a gap between what's actually being put out there from the manufacturer. And so there's a niche, there's a need that someone specializes in electronics. We're all fishermen. We fish professionally. Every single one of us fish to some manner. So we understand the fisherman, but we also are very skilled. My partner, Scott Palmer, is actually an engineer. So everything we do is engineer back. And we're also backed by, being able to field test things, and that's usually what I'm doing is I'm out there breaking things and Scott's behind the scenes fixing things. And so we know exactly how to take on a customer when they have a need of any kind. And I think everybody knows that when you're spending the kind of money that we're spending on boats and equipment, everybody wants it to work. You don't want to break down in the Forest Wood Cup like I did because it wasn't installed right. And so we bring that same passion to each and every one of our customers. For any of your electronics needs, we ship nationwide, we have financing, and we also have the best installation in the business. No shortcuts, it's done right, or it's not done at all. So you can find us at thebasstank.com. You can call us, 918-509-7864. You can find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
We'd like to thank the Bass Tank for supporting the league. So many of our anglers have their electronics fine-tuned by the guys at the Bass Tank.
Absolutely. They're trailblazing, trend-setting pioneers, man.
As evidenced by one of the owners there, John Hookup Soakup, winning 2 of our shields last year. From boat to boat with Bradley Hallman and the Wombat and Eddie Carper, over to Patrick Walters. Check back in with the day 2 leader out on Watts Bar. Familiar look with Patrick right there. Head down, staring at the live scope. We see that so many times with him. And that one got it close to the boat.
That's why
danger.
That's why I always let somebody else take the hook off my fish.
My boys, when they were a lot younger than they are now, used to call treble hooks. I would say, hey, that bait's got treble hooks when they were kids. And they thought I said trouble hooks. So they've always been trouble hooks, and they are indeed that. Yeah. Shout out to Hudson and Ryder this morning, who are probably still sleeping in.
What's up, boys?
What's up, guys? Graduated the 5th grade, going into middle school. Ryder did this week, and Hudson had his 8th grade graduation last night. So I got to say that on live. Proud of those.
Congratulations!
Lots of milestones. We got a high school graduate, college graduate. All the kids in the Duncan house are getting older, to say the least.
Yeah.
Patrick utilizing that forward-facing sonar on so many of these offshore points and bars. And that fish was obviously up a little higher in the column. Caught it on a jerk bait. Just works his rotation. He starts to see these fish. From Patrick, we're going to check in with the man that was closest to running him down yesterday, Ryan Satterfield. Hooked up.
Oh, yeah. Thought he missed it.
I thought it come off. It was swimming so fast toward me, I didn't even know it was on there. Something's different today. We got to figure out what it is.
Another non-keeper for Ryan there. Just a lot tougher morning for him. Take a little time, put that rain gear away and everything. It's always a good feeling though. Where you're like, hey, you know what? I've worn this for 2 days. I think we're finally getting to shed this.
Especially this time of year, man, because it's warm.
That's right. This is more along the lines of the weather we expected for May in East Tennessee. From Ryan, who started the day in second place, over to our fourth place angler, who's just a pound 9 back, Florida's Massey. It's been the talk of the morning so far. Matt got off to a quick start this morning, working a vibrating jig, Strike King Thunder Cricket.
Just keeping that momentum going, man, from a great day yesterday.
See how quick.
I bet he threw it right in the fish's mouth.
It was a reaction strike 101 right there, goodness.
It might help him, maybe.
As that sun gets higher, this weather changes, those fish are definitely going to reposition in that grass. I'm not saying they're going to stop biting, but it seems like when he's throwing that cricket, he's keeping it on the top side of the water column. He's not getting down the grass, ripping it out there.
Fishing it fast for sure.
Absolutely.
Said he was utilizing an 8-3-1 reel too to keep that bait up. Sounds like a small coal from Matt right there. See coals. We're going to check back in with Oklahoma's Sheldon Collings. Looks like Sheldon made a move maybe to a brush pile off of a point here.
How'd that brush pile get there? I mean, nobody puts brush piles out on the TVA, do they?
This morning, we started out on my top water point again, and we caught one keeper off of it, a couple shorts, and then I went and ran some stuff that I found yesterday dock-wise, and we ended up catching 2 keepers doing that. And then we caught one more keeper just a minute ago on some docks I caught fish on in the first day. And now we're in the general area of where I caught majority of my weight yesterday afternoon. I found some shallower brush piles out in the front of some pockets. I'm sitting in 13 foot right now fishing piles, and we're kind of just bobbing around through here. We're gonna stay in here most of the day. I noticed the water dropped some, so it's just gonna pull a majority of the fish that were on the shallow docks that I caught them on the first day out off the bank a little bit, and when that happens they pull to the first piece of cover. out off the bank. So that's what we're doing the rest of the day, targeting shallower brush piles, throwing a jerkbait over them using my Lowrance active target, and I'm throwing a big worm in them too if I can't get them to commit to a jerkbait. Oh gosh. Oh, I just had one. Well, the sun's out now, so that's really good. It makes the brush pile fishing better and the dock fishing better. So we'll still flip a bunch of docks today with the sun being out, regardless of the water dropping. But yeah, so big worm in piles, jerkbait, and a little finesse jig around docks is pretty much the game plan all day long today. So we just need to run into a couple 4-pounders, whether it be out off the bank or up on the bank. But we're definitely around some fish today, so feeling good about it.
Good stuff from Sheldon there. Certainly confident. 4 in the box already this morning. And he did a lot of his damage late yesterday.
The Weight Life Tracker, he's setting a little less than 5.5 pounds, like 5'7" behind Matt Massey, leading with 40 pounds 1 ounce. He catches a good kicker and it upgrades. And it's early. It's anybody's tournament right now, without a doubt. Like we talked about earlier, they're wadded up. That top 5 is wadded up, and we've seen the quality. There haven't been a lot of 5 and 6 pounders weighed in, but there have been 6 and a 7 weighed in. So there's potential for that big kicker fish to be a game changer.
Sheldon tries to mine this brush pile for that kicker fish. We're going to check in with the sponsors, the National Professional Fishing League, here on Finale Friday at Watts Bar, and we'll see you on the other side for more live action.
So, you're looking to buy fishing electronics, huh? Are you also looking for true experts to help guide you through it? Well, at the Bass Tank, you've come to the right place. We are live forward-facing sonar pioneers with thousands of hours spent learning through winning trophies, cashing checks, and just having fun. Whatever brand you need, we have it. We offer free shipping, and we have 2 financing options available. Our experts are here to help you. Call us today or visit thebasstank.com.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store. Because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know. Plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood, no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
I'm Doug Chapin, and this is how I fish fully loaded.
Guide Batteries has been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro Guide Batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
All right, guys, no insurance talk on beach day.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. Like the house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster. An insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
It's a bundle! It's a bundle and it saves you money! Hi, I'm Will from Progressive and I couldn't help it over here.
Super fun beach day, everybody.
Welcome back to Watts Bar. And a look at our day 1 and 2 leader, Patrick Walters. Getting those electronics dialed up. He's done most of his damage offshore. Not a surprise to anybody that keeps up with Patrick.
He's so calculated. Everything has a purpose. That sun's starting to peep through. Them boys had a wild ride this morning, though. Watching before we went on air, man. They got
Just
soaked.
fishing some main lake ledges real quick. You know, really just kind of fishing some different stuff, kind of swinging for the fence. I mean, you ain't never gonna find them out here or ever catch them out here if you don't ever fish. So that's what we're trying. Just see if we can find a new pot of fish. If whoever can find fresh fish today will win, without a doubt. That's what we're gonna fish, a lot of the same stuff catching that fish, but you got to find fresh fish every day. Because we're gonna run a bunch of new water and just keep a good rotation in there and keep them honest. I mean, it's Tennessee River into May. There's fish pulling out everywhere, no matter where you go. I mean, they're heading out deep. And I think the better stuff's gonna be down lake. That's why we're gonna migrate down. As the bite gets better, we're gonna progress down lake with it. That's the plan, at least. I mean, sounds good in theory. Whether it works that way, we'll find out.
Patrick with a plan, always.
Imagine that.
Always with a plan. Came up a little short at Hartwell in event number 2 to Drew 6 there on the final day. He's got that look today, though. He wants that shield.
I'm gonna get in that box. Sorry about that.
He is.
Imagine that, pulling out another rod.
Didn't have enough out already. Patrick's going to make another adjustment, another switch. And while Patrick does that, we're going to check in with another South Carolina boy, Pug Clements.
Back to that accuracy, man. How important it is to have those good mechanics and casting skills.
Hooked up. Ooh, another good fish for
Yes!
Pug.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, brother. That's what I'm talking about. It's a magic dock, dude. It's a magic dock.
It is the same dock from
Y'all
yesterday.
heard of Keith Carson's magic tree? I got a magic boat slip, baby. Come on back, son. Give me some again. I love it, dude. I love it. Let's go. Man, I'm telling you, dude, there's something to this. There's something to it. I'm telling you. I mean, that was a solid 3. We got a 5 something. Like we I don't know.
Huh?
3 more to go. 3 more to go, son.
Dude, it's going down. If he wins this
I just love
tournament,
when you stroke it, dude. I mean, if y'all ain't never stroked a jig, listen to me. When you stroke it and it's on a slack line on the fall, when you go to stroke it again, it's just, dude, that's like the, I'm telling you. That is like the best feeling. Oh, man. Dude, that's 3 like good fish I've caught right here in 2 days. and what, 5 keepers, 6 keepers, like right here. I mean, this is it. This is the deal.
This is where the pressure washing
Right.
incident went down yesterday. The exact same spot.
What's funny, we heard the guy on that dock try to give
Trigger happy right now. Bear with me.
information being helpful yesterday. He told Pug the big ones are out in the grass. Pug's like, oh, I appreciate it. I can't have any information, and went to pulling one from under that pontoon boat Bobby was sitting on. It's good stuff, man. Pug is having a heck of a tournament. And I just love seeing that positive energy, man. I'm jealous to feel like that, because you know that feeling he's having. Of all people, you know what he's feeling.
Bill. I love me some Jolly Bill. They need to name this houseboat too. Maybe don't name it after me.
He's feeling itself.
The Jolly Pug.
The Jolly Pug. I could sit here and watch him cast that swim jig all day long. He can put it where he wants it.
If I catch 3 more like them up under it, I'm gonna buy it. It's probably more, but I'll have to still finance a little bit. I think I got some sentimental value.
Hey, the bank's got money, Pug. The bank's got money. I'm living proof of that.
No doubt.
Come on, Pug. Get right, son. All I keep thinking is I got the 5:15, dude, to get 3 bites. 5:15 to get 3 bites. Let's go.
Pug started the morning in 5th. A little over 3 pounds back from Patrick Walters.
I'll be back in just a second.
Picking up some
I'm coming back for him, son.
valuable progressive AOI points. Coming into this event, he was sitting in 66th. If he maintains this momentum, I don't see, he's good to go now.
Miserable start there at Cumberland.
Oh,
0 on the
he's
board.
He's that kind of guy we talked about it yesterday. He's
Really
like you and
awesome
I.
if I had another bait to show him.
We, you know when we're upset or when we're happy.
That I
And you
knew.
could tell he was
I hope
disappointed.
I ain't live right now.
Well,
I'm on the Jolly Bells rope.
you better tighten up, Pug. We're sitting there bragging about your casting skills.
We got it all.
There you go.
Meanwhile, the captain of the Jolly Bell come out and wish Pug good morning.
Oh,
He
yeah.
does that again.
Argo peg leg.
Sounded like somebody hit one on the other side right there. Did you hear that in the distance? One of our viewers got out there trying to figure it out, maybe.
Actually, we did
That
see-
might have been Hallman.
Could have been.
Or Watson. Watson's
on,
probably
Bill.
down there, walking on the dock.
I don't know why I'm backing down.
Definitely
Looks
Watson.
actually at the right angle right now, and I'm backing down, so I got to backhand again.
A lot of people, if you fish a jig on boat docks that are actually pole docks that are connected to the bottom, it's a lot different than these floating marina docks. And
There's a lot going on
A lot
underwater.
going on.
Settle down, son. Just settle down.
You talked about it yesterday, from wires to support
Oh, yeah,
beams,
there's
trusses,
cables,
yep.
support beams, but those fish, they really,
Man, I backed that
they just
drag
kinda-
off after that big one, because when it surged, you know what I'm saying, like under the boat, my drag never, so I backed it up too far. That fish, I was cranking when nothing was happening. Yeah, I didn't like that too much either. But we throwing 20-pound line, so it's gonna have to give us a pretty good tug to break it.
But that jig is not hitting the bottom at all.
And we talked about coming into this event about the shad spawn playing a role. And it hasn't played a huge role, but this kind of plays into it a little bit, wouldn't you say?
Those shad definitely spawn around these marinas a lot. And when the fish, I've always felt this way, May's a really good marina month going into early June, and I think those fish, after they spawn, it kind of collides with the shad spawn, and a lot of these marinas are at the mouth or in a bay that's actually a spawning bay. So I've always felt like when those fish are moving out maybe to the ledges, a lot of them will become resident fish around marinas. I mean, we see that a lot. But you get bluegill around the marinas, but then you get a shad spawn. I think a lot of those fish, even if the shad spawn, it's kind of dying off now. We're getting late in the shad spawn. Pug mentioned it yesterday, though. There was still a little bit of one going on, but I think a lot of those fish, they just kind of get that hangover, right? They hang around those docks even after that shad spawn goes away. Some of them live there the entire summer. Some of them move on out to ledges.
Lingerers, just
for sure.
lingering.
And if you've ever walked around a marina behind the boats, actually on the walkways there, and you look over the side, there's crappie, brim, shad, big catfish swimming around. You'll see a 5-pound bass sitting there that you really can't even get to. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I need that thing to come out and put that shade line on these docks, because it will put them fish where you can throw straight on their noggin. Wow, good cast.
Hey, we'll do the commentating here, Pug.
Man, come on, dude.
We weren't even going to say anything about it. He drew attention
He's doing
to
a
it.
great job.
He's too excited right now.
Well, we will definitely take advantage of an opportunity to make fun of you. That wasn't bad. You start rattling pontoons and putting chips in jail coat, we might start talking about it.
Or not.
Or not. But more than likely, you and I will definitely have something smart to say about it. And that is one thing. You go into these marinas, you don't know what you're doing. You'll get your feelings hurt. Bobby will come down there and tighten you up. You knocking on his boat and hitting.
Sometimes they will just for you being in there, though. We see that a lot in bass fishing.
Oh, no doubt. But we are in Tennessee, and hospitality is one thing that is impeccable. I saw it firsthand myself when I was down there, Ray County, Spring City. Walked into a gas station. I didn't leave for a half hour because the lady was giving me directions, and I was like, I've got Google. But she, well, you go down and make a left at Bobby's house. His mom used to own a barbershop down there, and she was married to Gertrude's cousin, Terrence. The most nicest, beautiful people that love to talk. You're from Tennessee, right, Luke?
Go Vols. That's all I got to say about that. As we enter this 10 o'clock hour, we're going to take a look back at some of the morning's action. There's been plenty of it, as we've seen here with Pug and a lot of our anglers here on Finale Friday. Take a look back at some Watts Bar live action. As these guys try to chase down $50,000 and an NPFL Shield stop number 3.
Oh, Dinker.
Sheldon Collings, Ryan Satterfield, 2 of our youngest anglers here in the top 10 today. The story of the morning so far for Ryan has definitely been short fish. He's been plagued by
It's on his mind, too, because he's like, where'd they go?
Eddie Carper.
I got thinking. It'll be the one he catches them off of.
Boat to boat from Bradley Hallman there. Ryan Satterfield. We saw Ryan almost put 15 pounds in the boat yesterday morning before 10 o'clock. A lot slower day. And Massey dropped bombs at the weigh-in yesterday, brought the boom to Big Al McCullough.
Yeah, baby.
And he's doing the same today, picking up where he left off. Mike dropping that bass and the weight.
Bringing
today.
the Massey curve.
Massey. And your day 1 and 2 leader, Patrick Walters.
Off to a slow start this morning.
Matt Massey came in 1-9 back from Patrick Walters, has erased that deficit so far on Finale Friday. Chased down the leader. Patrick sitting on one keeper to our knowledge so far. Matt with a limit, a couple small upgrades already. Welcome back to the NPFL Live Studios. We appreciate each and every one of you joining us here on Finale Friday, our first ever Finale Friday in honor of the Memorial Day holiday. We decided to start on Wednesday this week, so we're going Wednesday, Thursday here, finishing up on Friday. Normally we have our big showdown Saturdays. Our next event will be the same way up there at Saginaw Bay. We're going to have a Finale Friday there as well, where somebody's going to take home $50,000. B, will it be Matt Massey today? He's having that special morning so far that we see guys have when they get to hoist a trophy.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the zone. It seems like he can't do any wrong right now. He's catching them. And the fish, so let's say that sun comes out and changes the temperament of those fish. They're going to...
Something needs to.
He's still around them, though. So Matt probably knows enough. Hey, set that bladed jig down. Let's pick up slower and try to... I just think he's around the quality that a lot of the other guys aren't.
That's a fact.
So it's going to be interesting, man, to see if he can maintain this momentum and hold on to it, because if he can, I think he will be the Watts Bar champion. But with that being said, we have guys right behind him that are making moves too. If you see guys we haven't even talked about, that the weather's changing. Dude, I don't know. I'm going to be honest, I ain't got a clue what's going to happen.
And it's early. It's 10 a.m. Our final flight, the way we do things here at the NPFL, our leaders here, they get to weigh in at 5:15 this afternoon. So we go off the air at 2. A lot of fishing time left for those guys right now. Of course, Matt, he got our attention. He got our attention early for sure.
We talked about this whole time about TVA, that later flight, and talking about TVA and that window, that bite window normally is at the latter part of the day.
It can be for sure as the current increases, the current flow, that sun gets brighter and brighter and brighter, positions those fish on brush, on ledges, on the rock piles. So the guys did not have that the first day. Yesterday at all. It was raining and wind. We saw some offshore fish get caught, like Patrick led the day offshore. Luis Fernandez was in the mix. So many of our guys were up fishing those ledges, fishing out 20 feet of water. Sheldon Collings, same thing. Sun, position those fish on those boat docks. He's dealing with a little bit of falling water this morning. We heard him say water levels fluctuate just a little bit for him, but will that sun position some fish for Sheldon? We've got a lot of guys fishing docks. It's going to be interesting to see if this leaderboard shakes up a lot more going into the afternoon hours. So we're going to check out that unofficial Weigh Live leaderboard brought to you by Beatdown Mounts, and we try to give these guys a beat down if they don't give us their unofficial weights. Of course, everything becomes officially official with Big Al McCullough this afternoon in Spring City, Tennessee. But Matt Massey, as we said, sitting right there on top of Sheldon Collings, a young Oklahoma angler, but a veteran in his own right, trying to chase down Matt here on Finale Friday. Timmy Reams, Logan Millsaps, the guy that's in our top 10 in the Progressive AOY right now.
Doing work. It's his
Where'd
first
he
year
come
at the
from?
NPFL. From his daddy.
No
That's
doubt
where
about
he came
it.
from.
No
Daddy
doubt.
Jesse Millsaps.
Both out here with us on the lead.
Yeah, man. He fished with us last year. Had a great year last year. Said, hey, man, I like this so much. I want my son to fish this year. His son qualified to fish with us. Here he is. And, dude.
Making noise so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah, making noise so far. First time we've really talked about him this week, but there he is, Logan Millsaps. Eddie Carper, Robbie Frazier, Tim Wilson, Ryan Satterfield, Craig Saylor, and Todd Goad. Another new face this year, but a veteran tournament angler. Had a great event there at Cumberland, and he's right here in the mix on Finale Friday.
He's catching them offshore?
He really likes to be off the bank, so it would not surprise me at all for Todd Goad at all to be. And also, he's familiar with this area as well. And I think he's been frustrated. He had a slow first day, backed it up with, I believe, 13 pounds yesterday to get up there. And so doing work again today, Todd Goad. Somebody that is definitely doing the most work this morning, though, as we have mentioned over and over and over since the start of the broadcast. He got out to a fantastic start. That is Florida's Matt Massey.
I've got my 5. I've called once. Started off a little slow this morning. We ended up catching a few shorts. And then we ended up catching a small keeper. And then up my next fish, I caught a 4 1/4. Good one. and 3 more keepers after that were, you know, 1.5 to 2 pounds. I'm sitting right around 12 pounds. Just waiting for these fish to keep firing in here. It seems like they kind of go in spurts. Just fishing this same grass bed that I started on this morning. And I may not leave today, depends on how the bite goes, but so far so good, man. I can't complain. Definitely have a lot of time left in the day to upgrade, so I'm shooting for that 15-pound mark. We're getting close.
You know, you think about Matt's first day weight, 8 pounds, catches 19. He says he's getting close to 15 this morning, man. He's got to be kicking himself a little bit. There's just nothing you can do. Here we go. Hooked up, live. Matt Massey. A lot of fish in this area.
Absolutely.
Wrong size, but it's all right. They're just very aggressive right now. When they're eating it, they're absolutely crushing this thing. Which is good. Don't want a lot of short strikes. That happens sometimes with the chatterbait. Or the thunder cricket vibrating jig.
The biggest takeaway from Matt's front deck right now, not a lot of rods. Knows what he's going to do today.
A little contrast between his deck and Walter's deck.
And so many of our guys.
Absolutely.
There's another hooked up.
Oh my goodness.
And if you've watched our live coverage the last 2 days, or you've watched the weigh-in, you heard these anglers talk about it, or you've seen it with us here, Watts Bar is a healthy fishery. Just not a lot of those keeper-sized fish this week for the guys, but man, it is just absolutely a fertile lake. Lots of fish in it.
All the way around, and not just for bass fishing, but with striped bass. If you're looking to go somewhere and catch fish, just in general, catfish, anything, bring the family somewhere, bring them to Watts Bar. Come down to Ray County, go to Spring City, go to Arrowhead Resort. Book you a stay there, because Watts Bar is full of family fishing fun.
Get into these little groups of fish in here. I'm just rotating around. There's probably 15 really good spots in this area that I just keep rotating through on this flat. It's got a little creek ditch running through the middle of it. It's not real deep depression anyway. It's just, it drops maybe a foot, but it's enough to kind of group up these fish along the edge of it.
Something else you noticed from Matt?
A place I never even practiced. I just came in here yesterday after I had a really good limit already, and I was just looking for some grass, some of this coontail, and I found it in here, and I ended up upgrading yesterday with a 4.5 in here, so caught several other fish that didn't help me, and some shorts as well, so I knew there was a lot of fish, and just looking for a couple more 3 or 4 pound bites, and we'll be sitting pretty good for today.
Something you notice from Matt there, if you look around, not a lot of boats around him, unless they're way behind him and we just can't see them, but it's certainly like, a lot like Satterfield, just seems to be kind of on his own a little bit. But we talked with Matt.
We still live? I'm gonna say hi to my family at home watching, my wife and my dad, my sisters, and everybody at home, everyone back home in Colorado where I'm originally from. I'm sure there are a few people watching from there as well. Say hi to my wife and just thank everybody for all their support. It's been awesome.
That's what it's about out here on the National Professional Fishing League. We're all about families, and we're all about that support system, and these guys all have great ones. A lot of our families on the road, we see it at the NPFL all the time. We appreciate everyone that supports the league, like our fine sponsors. We're going to check in with them right now, and when we get back on the other side of this commercial break, we'll get back out on the bar for more live action.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store. Because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know. Plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood, no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
So if you don't know about me, I was in the military for quite a while, and in that process I picked up the habit of chewing tobacco. I came across this stuff last year, midsummer, and started using it, and now I don't even use tobacco at all. If you don't know about Fully Loaded Chew, it's a non-tobacco product that contains nicotine. Fully Loaded Chew offers a variety of nicotine strengths. They have Fully Loaded, which is full nicotine, Half Cocked, which is half strength, and zero nicotine options for you. So if you're looking to completely kick the habit, they have something that's going to fit you. They have a variety of flavors. So if you're used to chewing a certain thing, they have something that's going to fit what you're used to also. To sign up for their monthly subscription service or to get your hands on any Fully Loaded Chew product, head to fullyloadedchew.com and grab some.
Guide Batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro Guide Batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
Are you looking to install your own fishing electronics? Well, the Bass Tank is here to help you. The solution is the Bass Tank Power Harness. It takes the guesswork out of installation. No more voltage issues or interference. Designed by an engineer so that you can get professional results right there in your own garage. Installation done right with the help of the Bass Tank Power Harness. You can feel confident knowing that your installation was done right. The Bass Tank Power Harness. Give us a call or order yours today at thebasstank.com.
Welcome back to Watts Bar. Spring City, Tennessee, Ray County.
That's right. Beautiful part of the country.
You really do love it there. You
Honestly.
and I both went out
that
there. It's a
small town
special
vibe.
part of the world.
Small town vibe. It's and I honestly didn't meet one person that wasn't the sweetest to me. It's a different breed of folks around there. Honestly, I'm not just saying it to say it, but I'm from up top, man. I'm Virginia, close to DC. And it used to be like that when I was coming up, but Ray County, it's full of good folk, man. You can definitely tell that you're not from Ray County. Nothing, no laughter, nothing. I'm just gonna leave me hanging on that. All right, then. Massey doing work. Still slinging that.
Sometimes you just let things.
Whatever, dude. Slinging that.
Things marinate.
Cricket around that coon tail. All right, man. What's your take? Is that sun gonna really reposition these fish, especially in this grass? What do you think's gonna happen? How do you see it working out the rest of the day?
A lot of the times, that just gets them a little tighter in the grass, buried up a little bit more. And we've seen Matt, one of his catches just a little bit earlier, as soon as that bait hit the water, he set the hook. So the fish were relating more to the top of the grass, seemed like, up actively chasing. And, it's almost 10:30, sun's getting up, the cloud and wind, rain kind of getting out of there. A little bit higher pressure, but it'd be interesting to see if he changes up, if he's got some other things he wants to do.
One of those things we really want to see too, don't we? We talked about yesterday, Bradley kind of keyed us in on how Massey was catching them. Kind of a unusual way, or how would you word that?
And honestly, this morning, and maybe we can get that from Matt here at some point, is we've heard him mention it several times, and we heard from Bradley, we heard from Matt. He had a little bit different pattern going yesterday, and he has said he found these fish late yesterday. He already had a solid limit when he got there. So interesting today from Matt. He's off to a fast start for sure, and he mentioned he might just stay here. So I don't know how good the other stuff is that he has, but he certainly had a solid limit when he found these fish late in the day. As Matt has ran down our leader, we're going to check back in with him, see how things are going for the day 1 and 2 leader, South Carolina's Patrick Walters. More of the same from Patrick. Offshore, electronics. Really utilizing that forward-facing sonar.
I hate when I can't. There it is. I hate when I can't see that sucker. Stay pinned.
Hooked up. Fish is in some brush. You can got him locked up there.
Not a bad one.
There we go.
That's 3. Hey, we're just gonna get things rolling, baby.
Oh boy.
3 for Patrick.
Suffix. Letting her eat.
Bring us to the spot.
We're just running isolated brush. Hadn't hit this spot all week. I found it in practice. All I did for 3 days was graph. I knew I was gonna fish out. I actually got Pickwick for the Elite next week. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna kind of practice for that. Necessarily, I told Kimmel that. He's like, you're gonna practice for a tournament you're not even fishing yet? And I was like, well, not really practice, but you're just gonna hone your game. Fishing offshore, graphing, getting used to your graphs, throwing offshore stuff, getting your tackle dialed in. Because it's completely different from fishing off the bank of different size rods, different stuff. Because you're gonna lose a lot of fish. They just kind of takes time to dial all that stuff in. I graphed for 3 days, didn't fish much shallow. Fished some docks and stuff, got bit, and we'll run some of that today. And just marked every piece of isolated cover, stump, brush pile, laid down, anything that was out there, I marked. And that's what we're doing today. That's what I'm saying. We hadn't even hit all of it yet because it's impossible. And that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep bebopping through here, throwing a big worm. We're gonna throw a jerkbait on some of the shallow stuff, put a little bit of that bay fuel on there. I don't know what that stuff does, but we need a couple big ones now. A couple big ones.
Somebody's feeling it.
We're sitting on top of it. I doubt I'll catch one, but
so when you listen to Patrick, my first thought is, so you want to be a bass pro. So you want to compete against these guys because
up in the pile.
3 days of practice. These long summer days. It gets daylight up in that part of the world.
That's why you don't know if you're wedged. You don't want to set the hook on them right away. You want to give them a second to get it, but you can't let them get too much on it because if they do, they'll get so far in there you'll never get them out.
It's getting daylight at 5, dark at 8:30, almost 9 o'clock. Never making very many casts.
Gosh, hey, those are bass. Catching fish is fun and hard at the same time. Like, it's easy sometimes, but goodness gracious. It's like I compare fish to women. Everybody knows this rant. Listen, when they're not in the mood, I don't care what you do or what you say, it ain't happening. You better go find some that are willing to bite.
Preach!
That's what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna run around.
Louder for the people in the back.
As much water as we can.
Great stuff from our leader, Patrick Walters, and I'm getting word that Mr. Hallman has caught up with one of our
like a whole tree.
Guys, that's shaking up that Way Live leaderboard, Logan Millsaps. Let's get out on the water to Mr. Bradley Hallman.
Watts bar with the sun's out, and sitting here with Logan Millsap. He just pulled up and caught a keeper right off the bat. He's flinging the big 10-inch worm on the TVA system, and he's dragging it through a little pile he's got here. And he's had a great day, dude. He's got one in the box that is a great big grown one. He thinks it's north of 6 pounds, and he's trying to find a couple more to go with it. He's got his limit, and he'd like to find some big ones to go with her. He said he didn't want to waste her, and I know exactly what he's talking about there. But guys, this is the offshore deal, and he pulls up, and he said most of his places are like that. He gets a bite like right when he gets there, and then sometimes it slows down. He has to grind a little bit, but this particular one that we're sitting on right now is where he's caught some big fish the last couple of days. So he's gonna milk this one. Very much like what we talked about this morning. I mean, it's what we're seeing with these anglers that are doing well. They're doing their best to maximize a small little window area spot. You know, it's not a run and gun type deal for them.
Bradley, do you, while you're out there chasing these guys down, are you starting to see more guys than you have in the first 2 days offshore with this sun? Is that something we're going to see more and more of as the day goes on? Guys getting out off the bank?
Well, Logan is really committed to offshore, and he told me point blank that this morning when it was cloudy that they were scattered, and he was kind of casting around his sweet spots, and they weren't really right on it. He said the moment that the sun came out, he said it was like, boom, they pulled right to it, and he started catching. So, yes, I do think that as the sun comes out and stays out today and this current comes on, and you know how TVA is, a lot of times that generation schedule kicks off about noon when all the air conditioners come on, and yes, I can definitely see that being a big player.
It's crazy the conditions you guys have had so far this morning. We've been talking about that in studio. It looked like a hurricane this morning for everybody on all cameras, and now it's sun's out, guns out. Do you have your shirt off yet, or just out there getting a tan?
No, but I do have my Caribbean shirt on.
We saw that. Yeah, we saw that.
Watts Bar is, the Caribbean of Tennessee. So this is the Caribbean. So
Okay,
I
that's
could definitely picture you
fun
with
fact.
a little a drink with an umbrella in it, eating pizza with pineapple on it.
actually, we had pizza in the boat yesterday, and I was the only one that would eat it. Nobody
Probably
else
it
wanted
was
any.
probably left over from Worldwide. James Watson left it in there.
That April pizza just hits a little different.
Yeah.
Bradley, any surprises so far this morning? Just, I know you're out there actually seeing it go down with your own eyes on the water, but you're also watching the coverage. Any surprises for you so far here at 10:30?
No, nothing's really surprised me. Like I said earlier, just after watching these guys fish for 3 days and visiting with a lot of these anglers, it's really amazing how some of these guys have gotten the patience to sit on some of these really small places and go for a long time without a bite, and then get them fired up again and catch a couple, and sometimes big ones. And dude, I mean, it takes a lot of patience to sit in one little area and make the same cast over and over and over. But I've seen it over and over with these guys and make it pay off.
And it's also, it's risky to do that too, right? You know what I mean? Like if they don't, because you are rolling the dice that they're going to fire, and if they don't ever fire, we saw that with Dale Prinky yesterday, you can end up having a bad day, not the day you want to have. And the complete opposite of that is we're seeing Patrick Walters, man, he is absolutely running and gunning brush pile to brush pile to brush pile, ledge spot, offshore humps. He stays moving. It's really, two different strategies playing out for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of the guys, I've seen some of the local guys doing that too, running and gunning. They've got a lot of areas that they know. And of course, Patty Wall's got his electronics turned up on 125,000% above the rest of us. So
yes,
it allows him to cover water like he is a local.
What are you referring to the local sticks we have fishing our tournament, or are you referring to, because we have there's another tournament the guys will be pre-fishing for that's not us. Are you seeing any of those guys out there affecting our guys, or just more boat traffic in general today than what we had this week?
No, I'm definitely talking about the locals in our event, definitely that. Some of the guys that know this place really well, they are trying to cover water to find fish. They're running a lot of history, This week's put a curveball for everybody. It's not really been a great tournament for the home lake guys because this place hasn't set up the way that they want. And hey, here's the deal. This is one of the big reasons right here, just like what I'm saying. Take Logan for an example. I'm guessing, Logan, this is your first time here? First time he's ever seen Watts Bar. So he's only got, a handful of places that he's really got confidence he can get a bite in. So it's a little easier for Logan to sit on a spot and go an hour in between bites than it is for a Brad Knight. Brad Knight's got a lot of demons in his head saying, hey, Bubba, you remember there was a 5-pounder over there 10 years ago, and hey, we caught a whole limit of 4-pounders off that little hump over there, 4 years ago. It's the same time of year. We got to go check that. And, that's hard on these guys that are from here and have got history. And I'm sure that's played against them this week.
I think it always does. We always talk about that. The home lake advantage does come with a home lake curse as well. We've seen guys absolutely be able to win on their home lakes, but more times than not, I think we get surprised, by what patterns win. Even the locals, when they watch this back, they get really surprised. Hey, so Bradley, you and I talked last night about Matt Massey. And he's off to this huge start today. Already got a great fish in the boat, and he's fishing shallow grass. You were telling us he's got an interesting pattern that he's fishing. He was fishing some bluff walls, fishing some vertical stuff. He has said this morning on live a couple times that he found the grass stretch that he's done all his damage in this morning, late yesterday afternoon. Are you surprised he's not going to some of the areas he had a solid limit out of?
I am. I am because I talked to him for a long time yesterday evening, and he really was big on that jig bite that he had going, and I am surprised that he has stayed with the chatterbait in the grass. I guess I've been listening to a little bit. I'm assuming that's what he's throwing. That's what he told me last night.
Yeah, for sure.
He really caught some really big fish flipping that jig on those bluff walls. So. Maybe it was a deal where he just feels like it wasn't as consistent, or maybe he feels that it was, random. I don't know. He sure had some big fish doing it.
Well, it's been far from random this morning for him, that's for sure. He's been on a roll, but so is Logan Millsaps. I'm glad you got to catch up with him out there, and we appreciate all the work you're putting into it out on the bar this week, man. You've absolutely done a great job for us.
Yeah, buddy. You're killing it, dude. We appreciate you doing it, man. You're doing a class act job.
Well, dude, I know I got some big shoes to fill, but hey, these anglers out here, man, they're catching them, and it makes my job a lot easier. Anglers like Logan, and man, they've been great. They let me pull right up next to them, and I really appreciate it. And I've had some great conversations, and they give us all the insight that we're able to share with the people watching the show. So that's what it's all about.
No doubt about it. We love trying to bring the educational angle and the entertainment factor
and the fashion
and the fashion. Bradley Hallman.
All right, boys. I appreciate visiting with y'all.
All right, Bradley, we'll talk to you in just a little bit. Bradley Hallman and Logan Millsaps there. The rookie out here on the NPFL. His dad, Jesse, we got to visit with a lot last year on our NPFL live cameras. And Logan started this event in the top 10 in our Angler of the Year, Progressive Angler of the Year race, and certainly going to be in that top 10.
He's cool as a cucumber, too.
Sure.
Keep going back to, we talk about champions, guys that have what it takes, and it's all about the mindset. It's all about not letting your wheels start spinning. Jesse, like his son Logan, they have that demeanor, that laid back kind of go with the flow, don't get rattled easy mentality.
Versatile anglers as well.
Very
We've seen them
so.
do a lot of different things out here in the last 2 seasons. As Jesse, we saw him lots of different techniques, and we've seen the same from Logan this year as well. From Logan, who's one of our young up-and-coming anglers, over to Sheldon Collings, another one of our young anglers, but is certainly a veteran with his tournament experience.
Absolutely. I don't even consider him young
Tournament
anymore. I
no.
feel like I've been following him as a pro for 10 years.
It's a fact. He started his career at such a young age. It's
16, 17, I think.
Here he comes, big and two. I mean, a giant.
Watch it, Brad.
I got him. Nope, he's not big. Sorry.
It's okay, buddy.
No, we forgive you, man.
He looked big out there.
These guys that are proficient with live, though, they do get to where they know the size of the bass, and
we've even talked about it. They can break down the species, right?
For sure, a lot of the time, based on how they're set up. Certainly a different look from Sheldon. We've seen him mainly fishing the docks, but he said earlier as the sun came out, he's going to throw a big worm on some brush piles and a jerk bait around those brush piles. Looks like that's what he's doing here. Sheldon was unofficially in. Cameraman Piper updating the Snapchat.
Yeah. He must be on that Cricket Mobile trying to get service holding up. How many bars you got? Can you hear me now?
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
Not the official wireless provider.
Absolutely not. No.
From Sheldon, we're going to go back over to the leader, unofficial leader, Matt Massey. Having a big morning so far after a big day, day two.
We'll keep talking about it because it's amazing. Day one, he weighed in a little bit over 8 pounds. Come in day two with over 19 pounds on a 7-pound kicker, man.
Well, the bites, I mean, it goes in kind of spurts still. I'm getting bites, but they've kind of shrunk up on me. They're little dinky fish now, but I'm kind of expanding the area I'm in, looking for more grass, maybe that I missed. I found a few more areas that have some grass, but I didn't get bed in it. But just plugging along here. Hopefully we'll be able to keep upgrading. I don't know how much longer I'll give it, but I really do think there's some more bigger fish in here that I'm just not catching. I may start throwing a little Texas rig worm through this grass and see if I can pick one up here. I'll try another pass through here with this vibrating jig. I'll go back through it with a worm and see if I can pick one up.
Attaboy.
Wind's
That's
starting to
textbook,
pick up
right?
a little bit. That should help this bite in this shallow water. Yesterday when I was in here, it was blowing pretty hard and they were feeding pretty good, so maybe this wind will pick up and help me out a little bit. We still have like 6 hours or 6.5 hours to fish, so we got lots of time. I'll probably run at some point and fish that little transition. Oh man, he hit it just pulling it right out of the water. Just a little guy, I could see it. Where I caught that 7-pounder yesterday, and that fish was actually pre-spawn, believe it or not. She was still full of eggs. I'm not sure if she'll even spawn or not, being as late as it is, but fish do weird things, man. But maybe I'll pull up there and catch another big in there. Just one little small, real small spot along a bluff wall. Boat was in 60 feet of water, and there was a small little ledge that came off, maybe 10 feet off the bluff wall that was 25 foot deep, and that's where I caught that 7-pounder yesterday. So I'll go check that at some point today, and maybe there'll be another big one on it. Her sister would be nice. I did end up catching a couple smallies over there after I caught that 7 that they were in that 16 to 17 inch range. So there could be a big old smallie set up on there too. Never know with them brown fish where they're gonna be, they'll surprise you.
Matt finally mentioning that 7-pounder. That was what we had heard. We were talking with Bradley about bluff walls, fishing some vertical cover with a light jig.
Approaching my area. I was worried about him coming in here, but he is now left, so I don't like to have to play defense. But I haven't really seen anyone fishing shallow grass or anything like this, so may not have to worry about anyone coming in here.
Matt Massey is a gentle giant. He's a healthy fellow. He's got a big frame on him, but he's so nice. One of the nicest guys. But with that being said, not a guy I would like to make mad on the water. I couldn't see him getting mad, to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen Matt do anything but smile. I want to keep it that way. If he keeps fishing the way he's been fishing, we're going to see.
Especially if I'm not around to protect you.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that's
I gotta get my body
biggest
guard.
thing you got to worry about.
Yeah.
So many times
Oh yeah.
since I've known you. Just
You're always getting me out of trouble, man.
There to bail you out.
You got a mean leg sweep on you.
A good weekend to be fishing, holiday.
It's a good week to be
out and
Massey.
do some fishing and enjoy their holiday weekend. I know I need to recover after 6 days straight of fishing. It gets a little hard on me the older I get.
It does take a physical toll on everybody, especially, you know, like we mentioned with Patrick Walters, his practice days are so long. If you utilize all the time that the league gives you from that right at sunrise to sunset practice time, you're on the water for long days. So, and once the adrenaline settles out too at the end of the event, you're ready for a couch nap.
Absolutely. Dude, I can deal with it up until, especially around the house. But July, August, I'll be wherever the AC's at. I'm good on it, man. I don't know how the guys do it. Fish through July, August, and just man, it's already hard enough. Like you say, 6 days in a row on your feet, up and down, getting your gut speed out, running through rough water and everything else. It's a lot
of early mornings and late nights, that's for sure, out here on the National Professional Fishing League. We're going to check in with the sponsors of the league that make this all possible. We'll see you guys back on the other side with more live action from stop number 3, Watts Bar.
So, you're looking to buy fishing electronics, huh? Are you also looking for true experts to help guide you through it? Well, at the Bass Tank, you've come to the right place. We are live forward-facing sonar pioneers with thousands of hours spent learning, through winning trophies, cashing checks, and just having fun. Whatever brand you need, we have it. We offer free shipping, and we have 2 financing options available. Our experts are here to help you. Call us today or visit thebasstank.com.
This is my passion, and this is my tackle store. Because Fisherman Central is owned and operated by a group of anglers who are as passionate about fishing as I am. That's why you'll find the highest quality tackle from names you know. Plus hard to find lures designed to give you that extra edge on the water. And they all come with expert advice on how to use them. It's like having a tackle store in your neighborhood, no matter where you live. So visit one of our 2 Ohio locations or shop online from anywhere. At Fisherman Central, our passion is catching.
I'm Doug Chapin, and this is how I fish fully loaded.
Batteries have been supporting the fishing industry for 42 years. The future of fishing is lithium batteries. Pro Guide Batteries has joined the lithium world. Get all-day reliability with lithium Pro Guide batteries. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
All right, guys, no insurance talk on beach day.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. Like the house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster, an insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
It's a bundle! It's a bundle and it saves you money! Hi, I'm Will from Progressive and I couldn't help it over here.
Super fun beach day, everybody.
Welcome back to Watts Bar. Massey. Has slowed a little bit for him. Big flurry this morning.
Well, I think we talked about it a little bit. That sun, the higher that sun gets, those fish will start repositioning.
That bright bluebird behind those
he knew
clouds.
that. He talked about it. He said he's going to probably set that bladed jig down and pick up a worm and slow down a little bit.
Matt Massey over to our unofficial second place angler, Oklahoma's Sheldon Collings.
Here he comes. Oh.
Hooked up.
Them babies are in there.
If you're just joining us, there's been plenty of catching going on.
Where are the big ones?
A lot of these bass not making that 15-inch minimum requirement.
For the largemouth, and then spots are 12-inch, smallmouth are 18-inch.
It's actually just a brush pile this time. Here comes another one.
It's been an action-packed morning, though.
That's a better one, I think. Nope. Catch them big and out of it eventually if we keep catching these ones. Bunch of them in it. There's got to be a 3 or 4 pounder in there.
We've heard that so many times this week. Guys are seeing these fish on forward-facing sonar, whether it be on a ledge, on a brush pile, on a rock pile, and makes it hard to leave, makes it hard to change up what you're doing. Because you just know if you trigger them, man, there's so many down there. But they've been stingy, especially those keeper-sized bass. Somebody that hasn't had a problem catching keeper-sized bass, even though he's been junk fishing, that's South Carolina's Pug Clements. Let's check back in with Pug. See how the morning's going. Unofficially in second place.
He's little.
Good shade line starting on that boat dock.
So we made a little move up here, up the river a little ways, gambling a little bit, doing whatever we got to do, man. Looking for 3 more bites. I seen this place on Google Earth last night. It looked really good, so it's got really good color to the water, which is good for that white jig. So 3 more bites.
You know, I'd like to see Pug's setup on this. I mean, I think this is, for people around the country, this is not normal. You know, we swim a white jig in a lot of places on heavy braid, up high, emergent vegetation. But what he's doing right here is a little different for a lot of folks. I'd like to...
Real quick, just real quick. Bro, this morning, I stopped by Hillbilly's Heaven in Decatur, Tennessee.
Tell me it's about food.
And on the sign it says sandwiches.
That's what I'm talking about.
S-A-M-M witches.
Yes.
And we got us some breakfast sandwiches in there, and son, those things were on point. I even got my cameraman one, and he's been great today. He was kind of whiny yesterday, but today he's been great. So. If y'all want a breakfast sandwich, they got bait and tackling all in there too, crossbows, ammunition. It's a really cool place.
Moat's not a
Hillbilly
winery.
heaven. Over in, I believe it's Decatur, Tennessee. Look them up, good people.
I wonder how long it would take to get one of those to Appleton, Wisconsin, here in the studio.
DoorDash.
Live studios. DoorDash from Decatur, Tennessee. Some of them sandwiches. Thanks a lot for making us hungry, Pug.
But like you were going into with his jig setup, for me, his rod setup too, to be able to roll cast and get that, skip that jig.
Yeah, what are you doing, Pug? What are you doing with your life?
I'm just swimming this white jig on marinas. Same thing I was doing yesterday. This was a morning deal for me, but yesterday proved to me I could still get a good bite late in the day doing it. And so I'm really I moved areas to a marina I never fished before, and I seen it on Google Earth and thought it looked right. So I don't know, usually during the shad spawn, this is the deal. And I haven't seen the shad spawn. I've seen just a little bit of it at the first start of practice. And the way you see it is when you put that jig up under those docks, when you bring it out, there'll be a ball of shad with the jig. And that's how you know, because it's not like you're gonna look under there and there's shad flipping everywhere under there. They're under the water, they're spawning on the cables, the bottom of the floats, all that good stuff. But when you bring it out, there'll be a bunch of shad with the jig. And I haven't seen that, but the fish are either live up under these marinas, or they're just resident fish, or they're left over from the shad spawn, or they stay in here and eat crappie. So it's one or the other, but there are some fish left over. And I guess what I'm saying is, this is the way I know to get a big one. I mean, this is what I know. We do it at home all the time. You can do it all summer long at home and catch fish, and it's a way to get big bites. So I'm gonna lay with it today. I mean, if I'm gonna win, I gotta catch them. So this is the way I know how. So that's what we're gonna do.
Good stuff. Bass tank breakdown from Pug himself right there. A little different action on the jig, but we said that a little earlier today. Some leftover fish from the shad spawn. Maybe they're resident fish that stay there all summer, but he's certainly getting their attention with that white jig. And the trailer that he's using, it's you think with this much action in the rod that it's got kicking legs on it, but really it's a regular just chunk style trailer.
I'm also trying not to hit pontoon floats.
And that rod, I'm assuming that rod is probably gonna be a moderate fast tip, the way he's roll casting.
Medium heavy, he mentioned yesterday. Yeah, he's for skipping, and then for not just pulling it away from the fish when they get it on that
You want it to kind of
stroke.
load up. You don't want to jerk it out of its mouth, because there it goes. Ding!
Well, get ready. Here they come. Here they come.
I shouldn't have said anything, bro. Oh boy. Now here we go. It's gonna be every cast.
2 strikes, three, and you're out, buddy. You're out of the marina.
All right, we gotta focus up again. Really, that just wakes them up when the bite's slow. You knock the crap out of as much metal stuff as you can with a 1/2 ounce jig. And it's like a dinner bell to them, man. That's just a little pro tip for y'all.
Good stuff.
Till Billy on the bass tracker comes out.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-oh, we're about to get a peek at the goods.
Here we go.
It's a local company at home, Catcher Lures. It's a round, it's actually a rubber skirt, white Zoom Super Chunk. That's it, man. Simple as it gets. 20-pound line, 7-1 medium heavy rod, 8-to-1 gear ratio reel. That's important as crap, because when they hit it, you don't really feel it until you stroke it again, because they usually hit it on the fall. And you got to catch up to them quick. I mean, quickly. If you're starting to get a lot of short strikes and stuff with it, you take the weed guard and you trim it just completely off. I mean, completely. You can put trailer hooks on it sometimes. That's what I had to do at Hartwell, and I ended up catching them. I was getting a lot of bites, but I wasn't hooking up, put a trailer hook on it. like halfway through day 2, and I caught 14 pounds day 2 and 18.9 day 3, just with that little subtle change with it.
Good stuff from Pug right there. A lot of people would think trailer hooks on a jig.
Same deal at Hartwell, Marina Docks, Bridges. But there was a herring spawn that was just starting.
I saw this man at Wright Patman. He showed me a video. He filmed it with his left hand and cast it with the right, skipping a frog as far as he could
really is,
up under that.
And I really haven't been able to do it this week, is to figure out how much you want that thing to fall. And that is the biggest deal. The motion back to the boat is just it's a rhythm to keep it in that depth. But the biggest part of it is figuring how deep you need to let it sink. And this week it seemed to vary. I mean, I've caught fish letting it go all the way to the bottom, and I've caught fish literally swimming it on top of the water. So, I mean, and I don't know why that is. It's usually you get in a rhythm with it, you know, it's the same, it's consistent, but it hasn't been that way this week, so. I would much rather be offshore right now cranking or throwing a big worm and just catching them in schools, but I just wasn't able to locate schools this week. Just brush piles that had a few fish in them, so I felt better with this decision. I thought, you know, this stuff would probably not replenish, but there was enough of it on the lake that I could just run new stuff every day and just junk fish with it.
The cadence is the same. It's the same, man. Love the mechanics. Accuracy.
Dude, this is all perfect. Wind, watercolor, it's perfect. I'm telling you, there's fish in here. Got to be. Got to be.
Said he found this on Google Earth just looking around last night.
Name on it, and that's where they'll be.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was pulling our leg at first. I thought we were just looking at a different angle of where he was. Because he is a jokester.
Good look at those Tennessee hills in the background as well. East Tennessee's known for it. Beautiful area.
So activating.
Beautiful part of the world.
Absolutely.
One of the more interesting things to me about what Pug's doing
I
is
like just keep them on us offshore. Because I definitely wasn't throwing a backlash out right there. Definitely not.
But he's one of our only anglers we've seen this week doing this.
Yes.
And so many times in big events when you get a pattern to yourself, you're either in last place or you're blowing the tournament out. So no surprise to see him in the mix for that shield here on Finale Friday.
Yeah, that's right for you folks too.
You know what? I ain't gonna cuss you just yet, you fat little booger. I don't know if he'll go 15 or not, but I promise you he weighs more than 2 of them in there. That little son of a gun right there is healthy. He ain't gonna touch 15 though.
Been eating some crawfish sandwiches.
Yeah.
Nah. That's got to be the fattest 14-inch fish, probably one of them that I've ever caught.
All right, Bobby.
Oh no, oh no.
There you go, good man.
He gone.
Oh, Pug right on his feet, agile like a panther, cat-like reflexes.
So like that right there is an example of, I know it was a short fish, but what I was talking about, So I made that cast one time already. I stroked it all the way out. That time, I reeled it out hard and then killed it. When I got back on it, he was on it. So I mean, it's different retrieves. But I hadn't been able to consistently figure out a way to get bit on a certain retrieve. But now I know there's bass in here. That's important. Very tough in this wind. Just keep it straight down that wall. That float, whatever you want to call it.
What's that old song, Clarence Carter? I be stroking.
That's it.
Stroke it from the east, stroke it to the west.
For all you folks out there that don't understand any of the references that Fat Cat and I bring out, especially music references, you can Google those.
Yeah.
Clarence Carter.
Stroke it to the one.
Our production team understood it though.
Yeah, they did. I'll be stroking.
We said yesterday a
Too.
lot.
You see him turn. Who's that?
He's hoping somebody cranked up a pressure washer. Yesterday he called it junk fishing. We called it junk fishing with him. We saw him catch one out of a tree. We saw so many different things, but about 10 or 11 o'clock he got dialed on this deal. And it's pretty much all we've seen today from Pug is stroking that white jig.
Yeah, like I said, yesterday he was flipping that beaver style bait, caught a good smallmouth, but it was 17.5 inches on a plopper. Did a little bit of everything yesterday. Today, like you say, man, he's just keyed in on these.
Went from junk to dialed in on exactly what he was going to do to try to win the event.
The Jessie Ann. Here we go. The old Jessie Ann. First one I seen named. Look at her, I boogered up my cast too.
We're always, as an angler, we're always looking for a sign, aren't we? We're always looking for something to trigger that bite.
Superstitious bunch.
Yeah, take your time and sound it out. All right, sound
work
it
it
out.
out. Work it out. It's hard pronouncing words you can't spell, you know? That's just...
Brother.
I went to county school.
Come on, Jesse.
I can relate to that.
Oof, how about that hook on the dock right there, I ain't gonna lie. That wind, dude. It's hard to slide it on it.
And we saw Sheldon struggle with that yesterday. That little bit of chop, he was trying to skip that jig under those docks. That little bit of chop can really get on a man's nerves.
Here we go again. 5 minutes of not being able to cast.
And let's be honest, man, having that camera in the back of the boat does not...
Woo! I mean, yoked it, son.
Doesn't make it easier.
That was next to Jesse. For
Yes, it was.
for everybody paying attention.
I wish I had some kind of follow-up bait. I say that I can throw a little Kitech in there and I know I can catch fish on it, but not saying a little Kitech won't catch a big bass, but it ain't me, man. It ain't me. You gotta do you. That fish absolutely smashed it though. He ain't gonna bite it again. He didn't like the way it tasted, I guess.